part of a bigger picture, meaning if the people that built this place, and I talked about this in the Flat Earth Clues, about it goes down to the motivation, and that is you go to any wildlife preserve. When you go to a wildlife preserve, you can put any other animal in that preserve. Let's say it's a 1,000-acre preserve, right?
Yeah.
They won't care that there's a fence there on the edge. Human beings, however, are very unique from that standpoint, meaning they could be the most beautiful wildlife preserve ever created, but human beings, all they'll care about is the fence. Who built the fence? Why should we pay homage to the fence? Why have we angered the people that made the fence?
Okay, for the purposes of our discussion, since it's so wide-ranging, we can talk about the Earth being flat, or we can talk about the Earth being flat inside of a Truman Show-like domey kind of thing, and we can go into gravity and whether or not that's real. But we have a limited time, so let's keep us close to Earth is flat and the stuff that's most germane to Earth is flat.
Okay.
And now, next question. If it's flat, how come no one's tried to go to the edge?
They have tried to go to the edge. As a matter of fact, that's where it gets. That's what led me down this path. Was that when I was doing looking at every other conspiracy, and I was getting bored because like how many different things can I look at? I started looking into the hollow Earth thing. I thought hollow Earth, that's pretty interesting. That the Earth is actually a sphere, but it's hollow and journey to the center of the Earth type stuff. And then I started looking into that, and it got me to a guy named Richard E. Byrd, as a matter of fact, the youngest admiral to ever be in the United States Navy, the greatest explorer really of all time, and at least very least the greatest American explorer. Went to the North Pole in 1926, and then for whatever reason, they rerouted, rickety planes in 1926, rerouted him to the South Pole. And from 1928 until his death in 1957, that's all he did was Antarctica. For the better part of 30 years, he just flew mission after mission after mission down to the South Pole, took a break during World War II, and of course the only people that were doing any exploration work down in Antarctica in World War II were the Nazis. Interesting story for another time. And he goes on television. You guys can look. What's great is the footage that's out there on YouTube. He actually did an interview in 1954. After his last mission in Antarctica, and he comes back and he goes on. It was the show was called the Longines Chronoscope, and it was like the 60 Minutes of its day, 1954. And he goes on. He goes, you know what? Antarctica is just made out of money. He goes, there's a mountain range made out of coal that could power the whole world. There's uranium, there's minerals, there's petroleum, you name it, it's down there. Everyone's down there already. The Russians, Great Britain, Argentina, New Zealand, Australia, a bunch of different nations are down there. We're going down for another mission in 1955, 1956 called Operation Deep Freeze. And it could be a question of how we're going to fight over the resources. And then during that mission in 1955 and 56, something happened. We're still trying to figure out what it is. But they found something that was so big that everyone left the ice at the same time. Literally everyone left. All the countries, especially countries that were trying to rebuild after World War II, like the Soviet Union and Great Britain, they left as well. And almost immediately, they started building the Antarctic Treaty, which was ratified in 1959 officially, the same year that the Van Allen radiation belt was announced, sealing off the upper edge and the outer edge. The Antarctic Treaty is the longest treaty of its kind. It's never been broken. It's unparalleled in its scope. No nation anywhere in the world, no matter how much money, no matter how much influence you have, none of their corporations are allowed to go down there.
Okay,
ever.
I'm trying to get to the answer to the question.
Sure.
The edge. How come no one went to the edge?
Yeah, they did. They got there, and whatever. I believe the Admiral Byrd found it, and everyone else recognized it. They chased everybody off the ice, and now Antarctica is a no man's land. Nobody can go down there.
Right. Why is it that if the Earth is flat, if you keep going in one direction, you come back to the same spot? Like,
because if it's you mean
if you get an airplane, you go in one direction, you're going to end up back pretty much where you started.
Oh, because GPS is gonna send you there. GPS will turn you in a giant big circle like a finger on a dinner plate. GPS, which was designed in the mid-'90s by who? The United States Department of Defense.
Okay.
They're the ones that will turn you. You cannot use GPS.
All right, good answer. So if it's not all that big, the edge is easily reachable, because you're saying the edge is somewhere down by the Antarctic?
Yeah, yeah.
How big is this thing?
The dome, or the structure itself, it's huge.
Yeah. What if you just went straight, though?
If you went straight, and you
not going in a big circle.
Okay, let's say you were rich and you had access to a 777 fully fueled with extended fuel tanks.
Yeah.
If you tried to get to Antarctica before, if you tried to breach Antarctica, without using GPS, first of all, the treaty wouldn't even allow you to do it. You'd have to get clearance, which you're not.
Okay, say we got clearance.
Okay, let's say you got clearance. Eventually, you'd run to the Antarctic Defense Force. You'd still, you say, okay, we still got clearance to get past those guys, the multinational Navy that protects Antarctica. I don't know what they're protecting. There's only things down there are two types of penguins. But if you could get past all that, eventually you're going to run into the same thing Byrd did, which was thousands of miles of frozen wasteland, which he said on the thing. He goes, look, there's thousands of miles past the South Pole, which we haven't even seen, which I haven't even seen. Eventually, we believe that you're going to run into some sort of barrier. Now, what's the barrier made out of? It's not an edge that goes off into space. It's not a high. What it's made out of, who knows? Is it a heavy element? Is it a frequency? Is it a force field? We don't know. But it was big enough and obvious enough that they couldn't take any chances of any corporation going down. And petroleum companies, they have the backstage pass to anything. You can't tell me that the head of Exxon can't. So not only are you not allowed, let's say you were the president of Exxon, not only are you not allowed to go down there, and it's not even up for debate until 2041.
Yeah.
You're not even allowed to talk about it.
All right. We do have some calls to get to. Greg, Josh. Greg, you've been there a while. This is going to be like a super short break, and we'll get right to the calls. Thanks. It's WBZ, News Radio.
Now, what do you say?
I look forward to your next syllable with great eagerness.
All right, I'm not going to play the commercials. So, what we have here is Mark Sargent on, what is this? WBZ 1030 News Radio. Cathexis is saying this is a CBS affiliate. He blocked you? Oh my god. That would be so fucking funny if Tim Osmond got in here. So funny. What's the number? Should I call in? What's the number? I'll call in, man. WBZ 1030 News Radio. WBA LBZ. Where would I call? Talk show call-in line? Alright. Alright, I'll see if I can call in. What's up, Dark Star? Shout out to Flat Earth, N-Word, Ed Upside Down Head, Cathexis, Fox. Hi, I was just calling in to the Flat Earth radio show. This is Patrick, Fargo, North Dakota. Yeah, I was wondering, because if the Earth is flat, then, why do we have two celestial poles and the star trails on the equator? They make it seem like the Earth is spherical. Like, it's pretty clear if you look at the star trails. Sure, thanks.
I had a question for Mark. So I've heard about this subject and looked into it a little bit, and I had some questions, and one of them is the so-called pendulum.
Okay.
You're familiar with that?
Yep.
Okay, so if the so-called pendulum is supposed to prove that the Earth is spinning.
I couldn't understand. It's the what?
The so-called pendulum. And that is, again, look up some YouTube videos on this. Again, I'm not also saying that gravity doesn't exist. It's a common misconception. Gravity, but at the same time, gravity is easily simulated. Easily.
Okay. So explain what this pendulum thing is and how it plays into your theories.
Okay. The pendulum, if you swing it, what they're talking about is a giant pendulum that if you created like a clock with dominoes on the second hand and let the pendulum go, the theory is the spinning of the Earth will eventually start knocking down pendulums because the Earth is spinning.
Knocking down dominoes.
Right. Knocking down dominoes because the Earth is spinning. And that is just not the case. But even if it was, for me, it's never going to be the silver bullet because science can't explain gravity as we know it. Even Neil deGrasse Tyson will come on and say, look, we can't tell you what gravity is. We can only tell you what it does.
Yeah, that's right. Now, Einstein tried all his life for a unifying theory of gravity and failed.
Yeah.
So, okay, Greg, anything else?
Yeah, so my question was, how would it work if it wasn't on the North or the South Pole? Because if you look at the locations where there's hundreds of so-called pendulums across the world, and they're primarily around the equator. So if the Earth was spinning on its poles, how would that tell you that the Earth is rotating?
That's a good question. Don't know.
Yeah.
And
But a flat Earth can spin.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
A flat Earth could spin.
Well, let me throw one more at you, and that is, two quick ones: the Michelson-Morley experiment and Airy's failure, where they looked for, this was back in the day, when they were looking for supposedly the cosmic wind, the ether that's out there, and they both couldn't find it. And Airy's failure, which I still think is one of the most quotable things for our cause, which he said that, he goes, either I failed or the Earth isn't moving. And since the rest of science is, well, we all know the Earth is moving, then we must have failed. Yeah. Anyway.
Greg, thanks a lot. The pendulum, we dealt with the pendulum question, 617-254-1030. Flat Earth? Take your shot here. We have, by the way, any idea why at the edges of the flat Earth it's cold and icy? Why would that be?
What?
If you go to, you say the edge of the Earth, the edge of the flat Earth is down in Antarctica, and it's cold down there. Why would that be?
Why would it be cold?
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of my favorite parts. That's just part of the negative reinforcement system of how this place was built, and that is you've got just when you go out there, when you head towards the outer edge, it gets colder and colder until you get icebergs, and then if you're still brave enough to go, remember most of the time up until very, very recently we only had wooden ships, you get to Antarctica. The entire Antarctic coastline is so unique. It's a 200-foot sheer wall of ice. And if you can get on top of it, then the altitude of that thing starts going up and up and up to about 2 miles. It's mostly a plateau no matter where you are, altitude.
So the short answer is whoever made the flat Earth made it cold at the edges so people wouldn't go there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and the whole thing is predicated on a much more difficult to believe thing that some beings designed this solar system and put it under a big cake dish or whatever, and we're a snow globe within a aquarium within a bigger snow globe or something like that.
Sure.
Which is another whole thing. So the reason it's cold at the end is because it's at the edges is to discourage people from going there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. The Antarctic just screams go away.
All right.
No
I have more problem. I think I have more problem with somebody made this whole thing than the Earth being flat. And my number one most difficult thing is, as you look out, you see a bunch of round stuff. The notion that somehow our planet is the only one that's flat. That's the thing that gets me. Out of all the spheres you see, the billions and billions and billions, ours would be the only flat one.
Well, again, if you
could happen, sure, it could happen, but it makes it, as we say in the Northeast, wicked unlikely.
How many illusions do we fall for on a daily basis? If you're inside a planetarium, and I'm going to use that every once in a while, if you're in a planetarium on your back, are you looking at the night sky sometime in the winter or the fall, whenever they have it set? Is the blood moon up there? No, it's not. But that's what you see. The line from The Truman Show is quite poetic, which is, we accept the world that is presented to us.
All right, let's go to Sean in Dorchester. Sean, how you doing?
Hi, how's it going? I'm Sean. I'm from Boston, and I just had a question for Mark.
Yeah.
It's kind of about his model, because I've seen a little bit of this. I know it's kind of the, it's basically the UN flag map, flat, I guess, right? With the circle of the Antarctic around us, like a dinner plate, I guess, right?
Yep, that's exactly what it looks like.
And then maybe it goes on beyond that. Who knows how far? Who cares? But that's the main thing of it, I guess. But like, how come we can't see the sun? The whole all day.
Right. How do you account for the day-night cycle?
Is it too small? Is it too small and just too low, or vanishing point or something? I don't understand that there.
I got you. That's an excellent question, because I should probably do the model real quick, and that is, if the world is a dinner plate, what does it look like? It looks like the UN flag. The UN flag is almost an exact representation of what we're talking about here, although what's really interesting is there's something missing from the UN flag, and that's Antarctica. Instead of Antarctica, you've got these giant wreaths around the UN flag. But when it comes to the sun and the moon, which are so interesting, the sun and the moon would have to be much smaller and much, much closer to us. They'd be like a mobile over a child's crib. So they would be maybe, I don't know, less than a few thousand miles up, but they would be very, very small, less than 50 miles wide, which would mean the sun is probably a directional light source. It's not an omnidirectional light source.
Like a needle on a record player or something.
There you go. And which also accounts for the seasons, because the sun and the moon wouldn't travel in the same path. It would be split very different, like a needle on an old record player, where it kind of moves in and moves out. And it would also mean that the sun and the moon are completely independent from each other. The moon isn't reflecting anything from the sun, and those moonlight experiments still spook me out. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what's going on there, where the moon is generating a cold light with up to a 13-degree swing, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, why? Where moonlight is actually colder than moonshade by up to 13 degrees. It's fascinating watching those videos, watching those tests be done. And when you take a magnifying glass to moonlight, that it actually becomes colder. That just defies everything. Yeah, we can simulate it with blue
burning
lasers.
ants. Like burning ants, but like freezing ants or whatever instead?
Yeah. So you could burn an ant with the sunlight, but you can not freeze an ant with moonlight, but you can get it pretty cold. And does that prove it's a flat Earth? No, but it really puts into question what the hell we've been told about the moon reflecting the sun's rays.
Sean, I have to go. And Mark, we do have a couple more people, and I have a couple more questions. I don't know. Would you be willing to sit through the news and do a little more?
Yeah. How much time?
I don't. It'll take 7 minutes to get back to you.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Mark Sargent, full flat Earth theorist. You can get into more detail with his videos. You can Google them. Flat Earth theory. Let me see. Flat Earth clues, right?
Yes. Flat Earth clues. All you have to do is any search engine. Flat Earth clues. You can't miss it.
Okay. And this is one that I'm sure you deal with all the time, and so it should be no problem. And that is, when there's eclipse, how come the shadow's not flat, straight? Why is there a roundy shadow in an eclipse? Don't answer that yet. We're going to figure that out after this break. We'll get some news, and everybody can get a beverage and recharge, and we'll continue after the news. 617-254-1030. And Mark, so this will be a podcast. If you sign up for the Jay Talking podcast, you'll be able to share this whole segment with your friends or at groups. It's WBZ.
If you're a pro,
Okay, so I'm still on hold, and I guess Mark's going to wait over this break. They're going to play some news. He said the break's going to be 7 minutes long. I'm a little nervous to do this, but it's kind of funny. I saw an interesting news story today. There was a short woman who was delivering in Pennsylvania. She was dropping off some clothes to donate in one of those like metal donation bins at 2 a.m. for some reason. And she was using a stepladder because she was really short. And the stepladder gave way. And she sort of got her arm stuck and broken and her wrist broken in the metal container. And it was at 2 a.m. at night, Philadelphia, or Pennsylvania, and she froze to death. It's pretty crazy. Alright, how am I gonna add you to the call? Shit, dude. Dude, how am I gonna add you to the call, Cathexis, if, what do we do? Alright, I'll call you right now. Hold on a sec.
I swear to God, if he said molecular magnetism, which I thought he was about to.
I'm still on hold, you realize?
Yeah, you probably. I mean, we got 7 minutes until they come back. They probably have 2-3 callers already. You might not get on.
Yeah, I might not get on, but it'd be pretty funny if I do.
Yeah, your straw man will definitely make them.
My straw man?
Yeah, he'll probably not have a good answer for it. It seems to be the current situation with him.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Some funny stuff.
How did you find out about this?
Who was it? Oh, it was that Russian gentleman, actually.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, he messaged me.
Shout out to Shroomy. I'm assuming you're Shroomy.
We're all Shroomy. But no, that Russian gentleman is actually really legit.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Hold on a second. Yeah, he ends up he's offering me his services to redo my scientism series into like visual videos with, he's a visual designer, like does video and stuff. And so we're starting that up where we're gonna redo them in like, a more, because it's just John, going over his presentation, so it's not like visually exciting. And then we're working on a couple other videos, but yeah, he's just like down for the cause. He's a cool guy.
You don't think this... Why do you call it a straw man?
Because you have to assume about what... Look, I know they showed like the Gleason's map and the Azimuth, like the distant map and whatnot, and you've got Africa, Australia, and South America pointing in 3 different directions. So it's impossible for... I understand the whole argument, like the Southern Stars. But this is assuming the real orientation of the continents. You see what I mean? It doesn't take away from certain aspects of being able to see islands from 90 miles away in Hawaii, or being able to see things, 30, 40, up to 60 miles away under certain atmospheric conditions. So,
yeah, but...
see what I mean? Like, it's an assumption. It's kind of a straw man. I mean, it's a good one.
The star trails on the equator, though, they show the stars in the center going straight, right? And then
there's definitely 2 points of rotation. Yeah, absolutely.
So we see curves in the sky.
Yeah, absolutely. But what we're looking at is these things are so far away, and we have no idea what the cosmos is, like really. So to assume that just because it doesn't make sense with what a particular map looks like doesn't mean that it's.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. Like it sounds like a good argument, but you're making a lot of assumptions about what the map would look like. You know what I mean? And there's nobody saying they know.
The sphere map works because people are able to navigate.
Yeah, it was designed that way. Latitude and longitude is based off of the stars.
So that's another proof. But the star trails around the equator is, I think, easy for a layman to visualize. So
well, imagine this, okay? Let's say you're looking down on it from up in, where the stars are, right? Space. Mm-hmm. It could be like a titty model, like 2 points of rotation, right? You're just looking down on 2 points of rotation. And that could be like a magnetic aberration. I don't know. It's a ridiculous one. It's difficult this is the one that keeps people from going into it further for the most part, like yourself. But overall, it's not. For me, it wasn't a good enough proof.
But there's like no proof for a flat Earth, really.
It's a preponderance of evidence, don't you know?
Yeah, but like I've looked at what people like seeing, Hawaiian Islands in the distance is explained.
How's it explained? We're talking about 90 miles.
With like light bending around the globe.
Light bending around. It's not how refraction works. They try to say it does, but that's not how it works. Refraction is like their magic word, even though most of them don't know what it's doing.
All right, I'm gonna hang up on you. It's back on. All right.
Oh.
I can just call you back. Should I just call you back after? That'd probably work best.
Okay, sure, whatever.
All right, but it's gonna be Mark Sargent, I guess, talking a bunch of shit. But yeah, I don't know. That'll work probably best if I just call you back after. See if I can get it on. All right.
All right.
Later.
Call 617-254-1030 to join in. WBZ.
It's WBZ, Bradley J. 31 degrees here. And usually it's a little warmer here. That means it's probably colder where many of you are and misty. So could be very dangerous and slippery. Could be black ice. 617-254-1030. 617-254-1030. Mark Sargent is a flat earth theorist, and he's thought it out very thoroughly. We have Josh in Groton. Mark says the earth is flat, and it's intriguing, and of course gives rise to many questions, which we are asking. And it's Josh in Groton now. Thanks for staying, Mark. And Josh, you too. How you doing?
All right, Bradley. How you doing?
Good.
So this whole theory of the flat earth reminds me of your days back at BCN and your Michigan show. And the reason I say that is Mark gave an explanation about what he thought occurs down in Antarctica and why you can't go down there, and that's the end of the earth, where it ends. So let's look at the earth this way. Let's just say it's a 4x8 sheet of plywood. If you go to either side, there's an edge, meaning there's 4 edges. Mark, how do you account for the other 3 edges?
Oh, perfect. I was actually glad somebody brought that up.
Oh, yeah, if you go towards California, it's not cold at that edge.
No. He's wondering where the physical edges are. And what I mean is that Antarctica, in the flat Earth map, Antarctica is the only continent that looks nothing like everything else. All the other continents look pretty much normal. But Antarctica, instead of being a continent sort of like an island continent like Australia, is actually just a giant circular coastline that surrounds the entire thing.
So you have a circular coastline that surrounds.
So you're saying it's flat? It's a flat disc. You think it's like a flat disc, right? Not a flat square.
Yeah. If it's a snow globe type situation, there's got to be an edge. And I mean, yeah, technically, I suppose you could have Antarctica as a continent, but you're still going to have an edge. And in this case, from what we've seen, Antarctica is the edge on all sides. It's not an island. It's just this big circular ring. It's this giant plateau of ice that encompasses us.
But if you
all
go
the way
east
around.
to west, let me just follow that through. So theoretically, if you headed from Boston south and you went to Antarctica, that's what I thought you were saying was one edge. But let's just say you go east to west along the equator. You never hit the Antarctica area. So how do you account for that edge?
No. It's always Antarctica. It's the same coastline. It's the same body of land, no matter which way you go. The Antarctica is not circular. It's not an
But if you
island.
go west, you're never going to hit Antarctica. You're just going to keep going west.
That's what I think.
No. If there's an edge on all sides, it doesn't matter which way your compass points. You're always going to hit an edge somewhere.
Yeah, but nobody's
And
ever hit the edge going. Nobody's ever hit the edge, the Antarctica edge going west.
No. The edge is everywhere. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, if you go west, it doesn't matter. North, south, east, or west, you're going to run into the Antarctic coastline.
Nobody's ever done that ever.
Can I just ask one more question? Do you believe in the theory of magnetivity in a compass?
Sure.
Okay, so let's just say you head west. If you head west, you would circumnavigate the globe, assuming it's round. But if you followed your theory and you head west, you're going to hit Antarctica. But you're not if you head true west all the time.
That's one thing I don't get, Mark.
Yes.
If you talk about Antarctica being the west, I mean the edge, and you're kind of saying that it's an edge that rims all the way around the circular flat thing.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. And
but nobody's ever gone there. Like, you can't do it. Go west. I kind of get what Josh is saying.
I get. No. Somebody's gone there. But the average person isn't going. Captain Cook, I believe, tried to circumnavigate Antarctica. It took him, 3 years, and he never actually found a part of the coastline that he could get into.
I don't hear you addressing though. What happens if you just keep going west? Why don't you ever run into this Antarctic edge that you speak of?
No matter which direction you go, you're going to run into the if the middle of this thing is a dinner plate, the North Pole is literally the center of the dinner plate, which means your compass is always going to point towards the center of the dinner plate, no matter what.
So in your model, the edge is in the middle.
The edge. Okay. Again, the donut. Think of the UN flag. All right. The UN flag is circular, but it's flat. The center of the UN flag is the North Pole, and the entire outer ring of that thing, that's Antarctica. So no matter which way you go, no matter how you're using your compass, your GPS system, you go off the GPS system, eventually you're going to run into a body of land. That body of land is always Antarctica.
Okay, but people in planes go west. They never get to that Antarctica thing.
But if you're following the GPS system, it's the Magellan argument, and that is the GPS system is still going to do the whole finger on a dinner plate.
Well, even if you don't use a GPS, just
if you don't use GPS, you're going to run into a landmass. Yes, the landmass is a giant ring of landmass around the entire thing. It is Antarctica.
All right, Josh, I think you had a good question there. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, 617-254-1030. Oh, so. If the Earth is flat, how thick is it?
Good. That's an excellent question. Because how thick is the globe? If you believe in mainstream science, it's 4,000 miles thick, but the deepest hole ever drilled.
I thought it was 8,000 miles, but that's academic.
Well, no, it's 4,000 miles to the center,
right,
but 8,000 miles all the way through.
Yeah.
But the deepest hole ever drilled is 8 miles. Period. No one's ever drilled deeper than 8 miles. So, but yet, when you open up any mainstream science book, they're going to show, here's the red band, orange band, yellow band, white band.
I'm just curious as to if you had a theory about how thick it might be.
If I had to, and I've said this in other things, if I had to take a guess, maybe a couple hundred miles, but it doesn't have to be very thick because, again, the negative reinforcement. Once you get down past 8 miles, your drill bits don't work anymore.
Okay. So what if you get? There's nothing really going back to the Antarctica, keeping you from going to the edge, then going and then. Rappelling down the edge for 200 miles to see if you can see the other side. There's really nothing to keep. Just because Antarctica's cold, doesn't mean you can't go to the edge.
When you get to the Antarctic coastline, yeah. And by the way, you can book trips to Antarctica right now. It costs you about $10,000, $15,000. But when you get there, Yeah. First of all, the coastline, just the coastline is 200 feet straight up. But once you get on top of it, once you actually get into Antarctica, it plateaus out again 2 miles high, and then it's thousands of miles inland.
Okay, just theoretically, though, I'm asking you the question.
Yeah.
You go up 2 miles, and then you go thousands of miles. You could, at some point, get to the edge because
yes,
there's an edge. And then you could. It seems as though that it would be worthwhile to find the edge of the Earth.
Oh, sure.
And so you could, once you get to the edge, go over the edge and can go down, 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 so you get to the other side.
Well, that's just it. Then you get into the whole argument, and that is what's outside of it. If it is a snow globe, what's on the other side of it? And I try to tell people, look, try to live one world at a time, otherwise you can get into the Russian spectrum. Okay.
The snow globe thing, I mean, a flat Earth necessarily has an other side.
Yes.
And a flat Earth, you could find the other side if you wanted, if it were important enough.
Yeah, if you had unlimited resources and unlimited access.
Yeah, all right, let's get on that right away. Let's take a very quick break, and can you do one more segment?
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, it's WBZ News Radio 1030.
We heard you on the radio.
That's right.
Fuck, man. I only got one more segment to get on. We'll see if I can make it on. I'm going to try not play commercials if I can, but I might have to play some. I'll see how it goes. I'm going to ask him about the star trails at the equator, coupled with the fact that we have two celestial poles. Make it pretty easy for any layman to Google the star trails at the equator, and they can see for themselves the curve. Hopefully I get on. He said one more segment, so I guess we'll see. I mean, I tried my best, guys. Okay, it's coming back on. I'm gonna play commercials here.
Your education is no place for compromise. Don't wait any longer. Learn more at rasmussen.edu.
Hey guys, with your winter fat increasing, are you interested in staying trim through the season? Or want to feel less tired with the shorter days? If so, Progene is conducting a national study in the impact of testosterone and will pay you to participate. Go to Progene35.com to see if you qualify. Here, you can find out your testosterone levels for free while getting paid to do something about it. Progene, a doctor-recommended natural testosterone solution found nationwide at GNC and Rite Aid, is sponsoring this research and will pay you to be in the largest survey of men's levels in the country. It's an easy program you can do from home or on the go. The clinical grade tests are painless and confidential, and everything is shipped to you for free. So if you want to make a difference in your life and would like to find out your levels for free, then go to Progene35.com now. That's the word pro, G-E-N-E, 35.com. Progene35.com. Enroll today before this study's closed at Progene35.com.
Will you just listen for a change?
Here's a radio message. What's your name?
Brad? We were talking about Bradley. Who are you?
Who's the deep talking cat on midnight till dawn on BZ?
Bradley J.
Can you dig it? Who's the cat that won't hang up when some caller won't shut up?
Jay talking.
Right on. They say this cat Brad is a bad mother. Well, I'm talking about Brad.
WBZ News Radio 1030. For notification of upcoming Jay Talking guests and topics, follow Bradley J on Twitter at JTalkingWBZ.
Mark Sargent is a flat Earth theorist, and he's graciously stayed on because there's so much interest and so many questions. First, remember the question I asked about eclipses? Why is the shadow curved?
Oh, because the objects that are up there, the sun and the moon, they're actually physical objects. They're not. But
isn't there something that happens astronomically where the Earth is blocking the sunlight and causes a shadow on another object?
Again, yeah.
Okay, so why isn't that curved?
Well, that's just it. We can't. It's going to go to the same argument, which is we can simulate, like for example, a blood moon. We can simulate a blood moon now in a planetarium all day long. You know, it's not hard to do. Same thing with the waxing.
So you're saying that there's some being which has taken a shadow that would naturally be straight edged and up there bending it to fool us.
Sure.
Okay. See, that gives me a problem. But that's all right. We go to Patrick in North Dakota. Patrick, hello.
Hello, thanks for having me on. I think the easiest way for a layman to prove to themselves that the Earth is a sphere is you just Google the star trails at the equator. You can see the curve coupled with the fact that we have two celestial poles. I mean, just by looking at the star trails, it's real easy for anyone Googling that you can see the curve, how it goes, especially at the equator. It's real noticeable.
Can you say that again?
I know. No, I know where he's going. He's saying that the star trails spin in different directions depending on what side of the equator you're on.
Okay,
and if you're on the equator, you can see time lapse of them, one going clockwise, the other going counterclockwise. Actually, same argument applies there, and that is, look, if you can fake a blood moon, waxing and waning crescent, star trails, that's not hard at all. But I will follow it up with this, because star trails are very, very interesting, and we've been harping on this for the last 6 months. And that is, why do we not see any parallax scrolling with trails whatsoever? By that I mean the closest star is about 4 light years away, but there's star trails that are out there thousands, if not millions of light years away, if you believe mainstream science.
I can answer
But
that.
yet,
we do see parallax.
Patrick, go ahead. Speak up nice and loud, Patrick.
We do see parallax.
Mark, let
scrolling.
Patrick
It's
answer.
really small and hard to measure. You have to have good instruments to measure the parallax scrolling. So
and this parallax wouldn't change over thousands of years. The constellations wouldn't change their shape over thousands of years. Come on, that's a stretch.
Okay, all right, Patrick, we have some other people to get to. By the way, Patrick, you're in the business, right? You work in the astronomy business, right?
No, I've actually I believed in the flat Earth. I got into people like Mark Sargent, and I followed it, and I've been listening to both sides of the argument, and I found the best argument for a spherical Earth, and that's, in my opinion, that's what I just laid down for you guys. So anyone listening, they don't have to go down this path of misinformation. Thank you.
How did you find out that he was going to be on?
Oh, I heard from a friend.
And how do you know how they found out?
Not really sure.
I think I know. All right, Patrick, you're the man. And now that you've called in for the first time, I hope you will call again, because we need a guy in North Dakota.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Hello.
Okay, we have Ken in Stoughton now. Hi, Ken. You're on with Mark Sargent for a few more minutes here. How you doing?
Hello.
Ken, hi. Go ahead.
Hey, Bradley. How you doing? It's
Good.
Ken. Stoughton.
Say hi to Mark.
I have a perfect.
I don't know. Do you guys want to listen to the rest of this, or should I start a hangout?
Europe. Essentially, it's a pizza where the North Pole's in the middle and Antarctica is at the edge. But I just want to let you know how ridiculous that is. Anyone who's ever traveled, been in an airplane, or traveled, especially me, by a sailboat, knows exactly how the world works, and it doesn't work like a pizza. The distances between lines of longitude do not continuously get larger as you head south. If so, the people who race like the Bendy Global Challenge, and they race sailboats from England down to Antarctica, and they do a quick loop around Antarctica and back up again, because that's the shortest way to circle the Earth. If the Earth was shaped like a pizza, like Mark is reporting here, it would take them months. They'd starve to death when they could circle the Earth. Okay, you look up Ellen MacArthur, give her a call, and have a conversation with her.
I'm just gonna call up Cathexis here. Oh my god, dude. Do you want me to keep this playing?
You do is go on a boat, go down to Antarctica, and circle the Earth, and you'll see how big it is. In fact, if you watch the TV show Whale Wars, they actually chased
it's past now. The guy was just being a complete dick about latitude and longitude.
Yeah, he was using that argument, which is another argument I would use, but I'm not that schooled. I mean,
yeah, against the projection, azimuthal projection, sure. Yeah. Well, there you go. That
was pretty funny.
That was pretty good. You handled it very well too. I gotta say, Mark's response was not very good.
He said there's no parallax scrolling. I've actually read that argument, so I know how to handle it.
Well, you're right. There's only very, very small. It's like 0.00046 or something, and you need specific instruments. And it's only on certain stars. But that shouldn't be what Mark said. Shouldn't have been the answer. Like he said, well, if we could make shadow moons and all, blood moons and all this stuff, then of course they could do stuff like that. Like this is what I can't stand about Mark Sargent, because he does not represent these ideas in any significant way. Like he's got a script almost that he sticks to. That he's been saying the same things for 2 years, and he hasn't sharpened his arguments. He's just going with this. It's a not simulation, but it's like a Truman Show reality. It's like, come the fuck on, dude.
Have you seen the Truman Show?
He's mentioned it like 3 times tonight.
Shit.
That was funny. Yeah, you made Mr. B's day.
Shit, that was pretty fun. I haven't called into a show like that in a while and tried to put someone in check. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was pretty
Damn,
funny.
I hate fighting on the side of the sphere, though. I secretly want the Glovers to be, or the
yeah, you were like, I want to stop people from looking into this disinformation. Get the fuck out of here.
I was doing my best Tim Osman.
Hey, you should have called it a sophist movement. You should have called him a sophist. No, what was that weirdness at the end, though? Where he was like, how did you hear about us? And you were like,
yeah.
I thought you were going to say effects.
He's like, I think I know how you heard about us. What was he talking about? Why is this making me start a new hangout? Why can't I just add people? Do I have to turn on?
Dude, I thought you were going to say, oh, my friend Kitexas. And I wouldn't know what to think. Shout out to Uncle May. Oh my god. That is funny. That was pretty funny, dude.
That was pretty good. I haven't done a prank call in a long time.
Prank call.
Well, I don't know. It wasn't really a prank call.
Yeah, but I don't... you know what? If it was anybody else, whatever. But Mark is just not good at this. I don't know why he insists. He's making it seem ridiculous in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, he's exposing people to the idea, whatever.
Even a lot of flat earthers think he's a shill because he presents it in such a bad way or something.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like he's got a script, and so for the past 2 years, he's been saying the same tired argument, and it's I don't know, man. I mean, my arguments have changed so drastically in the past year and a half. I don't understand how he could be, saying the same thing.
Cam's on Ed.
Shit.
What's going on? Because X is 100% right. He should have had this argument sharpened a long time ago, dude.
It's so frustrating, dude. Really. He's the one, but he's got an agent, and he's going around, getting on CBS local shit.
That's kind of suspect, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. That's 10:30 a.m. That's like a Bush League gut rate station.
It's a. Well, what does the guy usually talk about?
What those people? I have no idea.
Oh.
But yeah, they said it was a podcast, so I don't even think that's on the radio.
No, it's on the radio, but it's a podcast.
It's on the radio?
Well, yeah, okay. It's AM 1030.
Yeah,
news radio. Yeah, it's news radio. The guy, I've seen the guy before. If you look at him, he's been on other shows and interviewed and whatnot. But yeah, probably not too many people listening. Maybe a couple thousand.
Maybe. It's a Boston station, so.
How many people do you think I woke up to the truth?
Oh, dude, you fucking opened so many fucking eyes to the sophist movement.
Yeah, Yeah.
In the Boston area.
And now they know all about that wonderful straw man that Timmy gave you.
Fuck yeah. I feel like the truth won tonight. I feel like
Fuck out of here. The truth of you trolling an actual radio station to get at Mark Sargent.
Man, I had to get home at the tail end, so I can't wait to see the recording.
Well, it wasn't much, actually. It was only about 30 minutes, and it was just Mark babbling on.
Mark Sargent destroyed.
I don't get it. I really don't.
If he didn't have his shit together, I don't know why he's going on the radio.
And taking so many calls like this, he's got to be ready for, P. Mars to fucking call up and talk about Star Trail.
Like, I thought I worked in the business. What the fuck? Did you hear that shit?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He thought you were like an inside job type thing or something. P. Mars was an inside job.
It's like no one calling into my show knows this much about a spherical world. How to prove it's a sphere. Are you an astrophysicist, sir?
Yeah, he said that. He's like, are you in the astronomy industry?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, dude. That was so funny.
Man. That was really funny. I was like, why the hell did he say that?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's like, none of my idiot Boston audience knows anything about fucking these.
I'm like, nah, I'm just a troll in the flat earth movement.
You should have said that.
I pretty much did.
But what you did say is, no, because I once was a flat earther. Well, yeah, because I was
I
realized...
I was trying to propagandize for the truth, right?
Effective.
I was well, fuck, Mark Sargent is always like saying, I've heard him say, once you go flat, you never go back. And that's clearly not true.
Dude.
Well, it's clearly not true what he said. So.
Yeah, you got a couple of them.
There's at least one fucking person who's been a flat earther and then converted back to the sphere. You can't tell me.
Yeah, there was.
It's like your evidence is so overwhelming that when you convert someone, they don't.
Well, it is few and far between, but Tiger Dan. I've heard rumors that Tiger Dan actually is still a flat earther. He just removed himself from the shill scene.
Uncle.
Yeah, he's so right. That's funny.
It's so awesome. It's so true, though. It's like that's when I think you couldn't make another magnificent presence. You find a way to do it. It's like it's legendary. I mean, first you're on Poncho Pizzo while you're banned at the very same time, continuing a conversation with Adam. Now this is like epic.
No, that troll when you got on there to talk to Hank about coming together on common ground.
That was my favorite.
And fucking Poncho coming in.
I talked to Hank Hill for like 10-15 minutes about like, we need to come together as conspiracy theorists and not bicker over our differences. We know we're being lied to. Let's unite against the powers that be. We just like went on this huge discussion, and then Pete comes on and is like, who the fuck let you on here? And just banned me instantly. Right after that. Yeah, man, that was fucking good.
Yeah, that was a very pro troll.
That's just amazing.
I like Hank, man. Hank's one of the good ones.
Oh, they called him a shill tonight.
He's taking a beat down right now, man.
Dude, they called him a shill tonight.
No way, because he's had
A4.
Oh god.
No, A4 called him a shill because he did that thing in Flatty was over there and stuff.
Because he's trying to do a 24/7 hangout. That's why he's a shill.
But no, listen, everybody like defended him and such.
Oh, really?
And like Jimmy defended him.
How can you not like Hank?
But Poncho was like, no, he's still suspicious. I trust A4. He's trusting A4. Oh, and then tonight was really
Hank's
interesting.
Awesome. Hank's
awesome. I love
awesome.
Hank. Yeah, he's such a genuine guy too. But that's what he said. That's what A4 said. He's like, he's too nice. I don't trust him. But no, tonight was really interesting on Poncho Chan. I went in there and Poncho called me Cunt Texas, which I'm starting to think that Cunt Texas account.
By when in there, did you make like it known you were there?
No, I was just listening. I was just listening. Like right
lurking.
when right when I turned it on, I heard him say, he called me Cunt Texas.
Yeah.
And then he ended up naming off all the other shills, like a vet and Snack and Spock Tockles. I don't know why he called them that.
Spock
and then
Tockles.
Yeah, and then he calls me Cunt Texas. And then Jibby steps up and he was really nice and he's like, I don't think he's bad. I've interacted with him a lot. And he's like, no, he won't turn on his camera. He's a fucking cunt, blah, blah, blah. And then he said he hung out with Tim Osmond. And then Jibby actually defended me again and said, no, they hate each other. I don't know if you realize that, but Tim is very aggressive.
You guys don't really hate each other. You just
argue
but that's with each other.
Yeah, that's what Jibby said. Yeah, I'm willing to. That's what's so funny about the situation is I'm willing to actually speak to people I disagree with, not ban them outright and not let them come on to my show. But then he banned Flat Earth Alaska. Then he banned, which is crazy because he's a flat earther. He's a real flat earther. And then he banned. He said David High, the Hawaiian dude, is a shill. He's now officially a shill to Poncho. And
Dave High?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
He's one of the nicest flat earthers, man. And like, it's just so weird.
Really?
Yeah, he's now a shill. He's now banned.
Holy shit, man.
So I don't know what's going on, man. Shit's weird over there.
Yeah. Man. Dave High?
Yeah.
He's like super nice.
Yeah, Dave High, and he's a great musician, and he's super genuine, and yeah.
Who they got left then, man?
For real, like bots.
He's got, I think he's got. And then A4 tried to ban ADR, and push Poncho against the ADR. And mind you, this was all within a 45-minute period.
A4 is such a cancer to any community. He's like, I've seen this before, and he does it a different way. But I've seen these people that they just get into these communities, and doesn't matter what, they just have to divide and conquer, and like they just divide and get people fighting against each other.
Those type of people that everything they touch turns to shit.
Yeah. I don't know if he's like, if he's just dumb or if he's like getting off on like making people fight. Like, I'm really confused at this point.
I think it's that. I do, because I mean, I know he's
maybe he's not even a flat earther. Fuck, because he's not.
Maybe he's just addicted to the flat Earth reality show, and he fucking craves it.
Well, remember, up until recently, his avatar was him wearing a Freemason ring, and it said, "Look at the ring I was sent." And what was so funny is nobody ever fucking addressed it.
I don't know, man.
Nobody ever really addressed it, yet all he was doing was disrupting every single hangout, pulling people apart, being vitriolic, threatening to like kill kids and shit. Like, and for Poncho to be like accepting of him when he's all like, save the children at the same time, doesn't make any fucking sense.
I'm pretty convinced that Flat Earth is a psyop just by the fact that they call it the Flat Earth movement, and then there's so much predictive programming to like make Flat Earth seem synonymous with stupid and idiot that no one in their right mind would call it the Flat Earth movement. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's what John the Bond's whole thing was in the beginning, was call it Ball Earth Skeptic.
Yeah.
Or it should be just heliocentricity skeptic, or whatever.
That's why I think the whole thing's bullshit.
Well, there's a lot to. This is why I try to remove the whole shape of the Earth aspect of it and talk about the cosmology aspect.
But then it's basically just the moon landing hoax. Like,
no. Ed
with
gets
the new
me
skin.
on this one. No, Ed gets me on this.
NASA at its core is fucking.
Yeah, but it's beyond that. We're talking about the speed of light. We're talking about distances, the stars and planets. We're talking about what the cosmos is, what we are. This needs to be spoken about, and maybe Flat Earth was like a psyop in the regard to make this topic not palatable.
Because
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, before I got to Flat Earth, I was interested in cosmology and space. I watched all those shows, and I knew like the whole. They couldn't really figure out how, by using gravity, how the galaxy and everything worked. So they created dark matter, which is like 98% or fucking some huge percent of to make the equation work mathematically, right? So right off the bat, before I even was a flat earther, I was like, are they lying about gravity? Like, are they lying about where we are in the cosmos? Like something like the shit never really adds up on the ball model.
Think about it.
But it's pretty damn good.
They claim they know the chemical composition of Neptune's atmosphere, or what is happening inside a star 33 trillion miles away.
No,
they don't really
say
they
do.
Know
well, I guess they say that. Yeah,
they know the weight of Jupiter. Modern science claims they know the weight of Jupiter. Go Google it. See, these are the type of outrageous claims. I know their methods and how they got. I know what spectroscopy is. I know what the Cavendish experiment extrapolated. The numbers for Jupiter. But these are all still massive assumptions and foregone conclusions. So that's all my thing is. It's like people need to really look at modern science and not treat it as such this authority structure.
Well, I'd like to cut that in half a little bit. I think terrestrial science is very much replicable, replicatable. You know what I mean? Like medical science, things like that, things you can see under a microscope. Shit to that extent. You can put faith in that to an extent. You know what I mean? Like, not like that. Like there isn't crazy shit that isn't available to the public, but just testable science, even at any level. You know what I mean? And once it goes beyond the terrestrial level, it's you can't verify it. It's not effectively the scientific method. It's just kind of like canon. We have to take it for what it is, and that's why I harp on, like, people say the Earth travels around the sun in an elliptical orbit, but I still ask the question that the sun, the Earth, and the moon don't exist in a picture together, working together. You know what I mean? Like that's still an imagination fucking type thing. That's a dream. Like, it exists.
It's mathematic extrapolations from the observations of lights we've seen on Earth. That's it. These are just so stories, as John puts it so well. Like they're sitting here looking at lights in the sky, saying, "Okay, it does this, and we see it every night. So we're going to come up with this extravagant way to explain it." So
yeah, I don't know. What do you want to talk about, cathexis? That's not flat Earth.
I have a quick question, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
How essential is geocentricity or centric model versus heliocentric model in relation to flat Earth?
Well, there is a modern geocentric model, and it is a ball, and it's stationary, though. Okay, and Ptolemy put this together 1,000 years ago, and humans used the Ptolemaic system up until about 500 years ago, and it worked fantastically for eclipse predictions and whatnot. So, there's a couple differences that occur because of retrogradation and whatnot of the planets, but it matters philosophically, is my biggest argument. So if we were the center of attention, we weren't, this infinite speck in this infinite universe or whatever, then it changes the way we treat ourselves and we treat others. And there's a quote by a great cosmologist named George Ellis, and he said, "I can construct you a geocentric model and a heliocentric model based off of observations, and you would not be able to disprove me. A lot of people don't realize that we're choosing our models on philosophical bases. I paraphrased it, but that's essentially what George Ellis put out in 1998, Astronomy. He's a very famous cosmologist. And Hubble said the same thing, and many other cosmologists and astronomers said the same thing. So my biggest argument is that it's quite possible, geocentric. There's a really good movie you should look at. It's called The Principle. You can find it online, streaming, or people put it up on YouTube and whatnot. And it was a real documentary, scientific. I mean, they had Lawrence Krauss, Michio Kaku, all these guys. They showed what the heliocentric model was, the history of it, and then what the geocentric model is, and why they choose the heliocentric versus the geocentric, etc. It's a really good documentary.
Cool, man. I'll have to give that a check out. Sorry, go ahead. Somebody else.
I was going to say there's also a second part of that movie that they made after the legal issues with The Principle. It's called Journey to the Center of the Universe. It's about like a 2.5-hour add-on to The Principle.
I thought it was like 4 hours.
No, it's 4 hours with The Principle.
Oh, okay. Have you found it yet?
I found it, but it's like $20, and it's only on their website. They even pulled it off iTunes.
Nah, damn it.
So, yeah, I'm probably just gonna wait till there's a boot, and then
yeah,
maybe we'll see. I want to see it though. But
yeah, you do.
The geocentric model is a fantastic idea. It works. I think it works better.
No, honestly. It does. The only reason the heliocentric model came in is because they just didn't like the explanation of retrogradation. That's really it. They just didn't like the way it's explained in geocentric models, so they explained it with ellipses rather than, the way it's explained in geocentric model. So it's both the same, except the philosophical implications.
Well, yeah, I mean, entirely. I don't look at it from if it is geocentric, then it's definitely done by God. I just look at it like, I don't even look at I guess the theological side of it. I get what you're saying.
Well, no, I don't mean by God. I don't.
No,
I mean, what I mean is the importance placed on us and how we would treat ourselves. If we were all raised with this, like, instead of the heliocentric model, but raised with like the geocentric understanding, we would treat ourselves better implicitly, and we would treat each other implicitly because it implies a favored location, which, with the WMAP satellites and all of that, they're finding there's no way around it. That's what the movie Principle is about, is new scientific data came in showing that we are really at the center of the universe. But they don't like that. It goes against everything they've been working for the past 500 years.
Yep. And once you really dig into it, you learn that geocentricity actually solves a lot of problems in math.
Yeah, it does.
The speed of light stuff, what still actually means in the universe, redshift, blue shift paradoxes, all kinds of stuff that disappear if the Earth is still.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, it's a huge problem. That's why they have anomalous redshift and shit.
Dinner time for me. Thanks for letting me hang out real quickly. And I bring that topic up because I noticed with Hank, he always likes to, I was like fight the FE thing and more, and that's when we got talking after. And he was like, "Well, I'm more into geocentric versus heliocentric," and I got talking about that, and I'm like, "Damn, I need a crash course then." So you recommended the movie, and yeah. So now I'll have to get crash course because that's the passion that he likes over the surface of the.
That's mainly my focus nowadays. More is the cosmological side to all this. But Flat Earth, the reason why I promote Flat Earth is because I wouldn't be where I am now without asking that question to myself.
Okay.
That's the reason why I defend it so much, because it cracks a person's paradigm open enough where they're going to dig into something this far. Unless you're like your uncle and you only give a week and a half.
Well, I can't help that. It's the navigation kind of
I know.
Whatever. I was trying to steer the direction away from the FE word.
I'm just kidding, dude.
But now it's like, ooh, I got a whole new thing to look at, like space. And Mr. B's got that telescope and his videos, and
yeah, Mr. B's awesome.
Now that's a whole lot more to talk about, I reckon, because none of us can take a shuttle up there and figure this kind of stuff out. I don't know what to call it. I was going to call it shit, but
Okay, so let's see here. It's funny that you mentioned parallax. I thought parallax was used as an argument for flat Earth. The fact that there was parallax. Okay, never mind. I don't know my shit here. My bad.
It was used. It was used for flat Earth until people learned more about it.
Really?
Like in the beginning, people used it.
There's no demons here, man. I haven't done any demon summoning or any of that stuff.
So, like, the argument he used to defeat my, star trail thing about parallax was actually at one time an argument used for the Earth being flat.
See, Uncle.
Mark twisted that around because he said, at the equator they spin in different directions. And no, they spin in the same direction. It just depends on what your perspective.
Depends on which way you're looking.
If you're in the South Pole, if you're in the southern hemisphere, you're looking to the north. Yes, it's going to spin from right to left. But if you're in the northern hemisphere looking south, it's going to spin left or right.
Thank you. Yeah, this is a total misconception. That's why it's used as kind of a straw man, is because they're like, they spin in different directions, dude. Well, you're just looking in a different direction. It's all spinning the same. You could say it's a cylinder, where a celestial sphere rotating.
Yeah, it's like when people say, "Oh, does the moon flip when you're in the southern hemisphere?" No, it doesn't. It's just where you're standing. You got to think of it like a triangle or something up there.
Dude, Jed Skeptic, he's like, checkmate, flat earthers, ha ha ha. And because he's using this moon argument, he's like, when I look in the southern hemisphere, I see the moon this way, and when I'm in the northern hemisphere, I see it that way. Well, that's because you're both looking at the ecliptic, like you said, like a triangle. That doesn't fucking prove anything. You're just seeing a different angle of it from your perspective.
That's it,
man. But no, the parallax thing, the larger point that he was making is that if we're moving at 66,600 miles per hour around the sun, and the sun's moving 400,000 miles per hour upwards, I mean through the solar system, and the solar system's moving 1.2 million miles per hour through the Big Bang, from the Big Bang, then we should see variation, like the constellations would change over the years. We have never had any change of orientation of our stars. That's what he meant by parallax, is that through all this motion, we've never seen the stars move their positions. They're fixed. And that doesn't make sense with all these different motions that we're going through, which I have to say is actually a good argument. But he didn't make it very well.
Shell. It's a bad argument.
Mark Sargent.
Man, he got fucking lambasted tonight on that show, dude. He was on his heels the entire time. I fucking come up with ideas.
Yeah, I was a bit saddened. Well, I don't listen to Mark, and I hope he doesn't come and hear this. But, I mean, seriously, like, I have no issue with him personally, but I don't think he's good at what he does. I think it's like kindergarten level, when people... They might get into this topic because his clues are written well. You could make the argument. I only got through 4 of them. I haven't even seen them all. Like, I couldn't listen to them anymore. And I was like, okay. Let me get to some real information.
That's funny. I was always suspect of those videos he did because he made those videos. They were fairly well produced, and then he came out with just interviews, and he never did any type of production ever again.
Well, remember when he put up his paywall, he put up the 10th clue or whatever number it was.
Oh boy.
Once he put up his paywall. Yeah.
Gotta get those shell bucks.
Shekels, as JLB's been calling it. You see JLB's new target? He's targeting. Yeah, he put out a video today. he's challenging Dell from Beyond the Imaginary Curve to a formal debate.
Really?
Yeah.
What the fuck, man? I thought, wasn't he going to debate Tim Osmond, or did that go down? What happened?
I think Timmy's going to moderate it.
No, the moderator is going to be Dell's choice. But Tim wants to do a helio versus geocentric debate with Mr. JLB.
Are they doing that?
Yeah. No, he wants to set it up. It's not set up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm still unclear what JLB thinks. I have a really great interaction with him, but he's never ever clarified his position in any way to me at all. So I have no idea what he thinks. I mean, I get the impression he might be a geocentrist, but he absolutely hates flat Earth. But he hates the community more than anything else.
So I saw Alex Jones on Joe Rogan today. That was pretty funny. It's funny that Joe Rogan was talking about how he did a lot of episodes early in the week, so he could make sure that the episode with Eddie Bravo and Alex Jones was the 9/11
episode. 9/11.
Hey, Hank's gonna come in right now. He was gonna start one, but I was like, P Moore's got one running.
Right on.
Ooh, Hank Schill. Yeah.
Hong Hill.
Poncho has him down as a shield now because of A4.
We already talked about
Yo, he went full Adam Dwyer mode then. What the fuck?
I got called cunt Texas again. Dude, it was so weird. I haven't been over in Poncho's in like a couple days, and I poked in within 5 minutes. He said cunt Texas. I wasn't even typing around there. I never him in chat. He just said it. It's ridiculous.
Did you see what I did at the beginning of the show, Big L? Fucking
the Mark Sargent shit?
Yeah. I caught it on the show, dude, and talked to him.
I was like, damn, P Moore's is exposing another nigga. It's only a matter of time before it's cathexes and editing.
Oh shit,
man. One time I talked to Professor Griff because he was on this alternative media show. Yeah, remember I told you about that, Big L.
Professor Griff.
What's up,
That's
Hank
the
Hill?
man.
I made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose he'd be your leader, the Afrocentric Israelite leader.
And did you call him racist or some shit?
No, I was like, you know how Public Enemy was acting like they were anti-establishment, but weren't they just like making music to that the establishment wanted them to make the whole time and helping the establishment?
So let me tell you what happened with Public Enemy, right? It started off as a political movement, right? Political rap group. Like the power was like, you guys are I'm not saying much older, but you guys are older than me, so you guys know the impact that song had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what happened? What happened is, these greedy people, you know who I'm talking about, got their hands on it, got their hands on the movement, the labels, the people who run these labels. And yeah, twisted shit up. Professor Griff said they said it was some anti-Semitic comments. They kicked him out, and they attempted, he had 2 attempts on his life because of that. And he admitted that he was supposed to be the blood sacrifice for Public Enemy.
Yeah, he said he's going to be a blood sacrifice.
So this shit's real, guys. I mean, when people hear the words blood sacrifice, magic, I guess they think of Harry Potter, but this is real. Magic could be mind control. That's magic. Doesn't have to be fucking levitating shit.
Right. I agree with you. There was a picture of Lady Gaga that popped up the other day. I heard doing some fucking blood magic shit.
Yeah.
Spirit cooking or whatever.
Yeah, with Abramovich.
Yeah.
What'd you ask him?
Me?
Yeah, did you ask him anything?
Yeah, it was just like, you know how Public Enemy was acted like they were all anti-establishment? Weren't they actually just helping the establishment?
What the fuck he say?
He got pissed.
Oh my god. He also said he also said Public Enemy was because they have a song and shot a video for it was like an anti like to stop people from smoking crack, and he admitted that Flavor Flav was smoking crack during the filming of that video.
Not Flav.
I'm serious, dude.
He said that I couldn't believe that about Flav. That guy is an upstanding individual.
Oh yeah, really, huh?
He's a gentleman and a scholar.
Shit.
Yeah, boy.
It do look like you don't eat.
You don't. It's all that crack.
Oh, looks like a crackhead.
Yeah, he was.
No, crackheads don't give a fuck about time. They ain't gonna wear like a broken clock. So they're gonna sell it. You know what I'm saying? Crackheads don't give a shit about time. He's a time-keeping individual.
Well, if you're making that kind of buddies.
Perfect. Too funny.
I think Flavor of Love was one of my favorite reality shows.
It was really good, though.
Oh my god! Oh wow!
I've never even heard of it.
Right? He used to be on MTV.
Yeah, or VH. No, I think it was on VH1. Yep. MTV was like too good for this show. The show is such trash. But yeah, I saw Alex Jones on Joe Rogan. Show 9/11 was kind of interesting. He had a flat earther on, and
yeah, you see him say, "Yeah, the Earth is flat too."
Yeah, when he was asked about if he was a Bill Hicks, and he goes,
Man,
"Oh
he's
yeah."
so sketchy about that.
He admitted to being Bill Hicks, and he says, "And the Earth is flat too." But honestly, he also said Bill Hicks would be 60 years old right now, so he's probably not Bill Hicks.
He'd be like.
He looks 60. He looks like
man.
Let me see when Bill Hicks was.
Joe Rogan.
You're Alex Jones, P. Mars.
Joe Rogan said that you look totally different than Bill Hicks, and your voice is totally different. I agree with.
He was born.
I'm agreeing with Joe Rogan.
He was born in '61. So, let's see.
Is there baby pictures of Bill Hicks and Alex Jones?
Yeah, he'd be 56.
56. Yeah.
Yeah. He looks like a 56-year-old. Alex Jones does. You know how old Alex Jones is supposed to be? Only like 40. And I'm sorry, he don't look like that. Let me see. Alex Jones is born
I just don't see it.
in 74.
I think it's a totally kooky conspiracy theory.
I don't know, man. They got the same fucking agent.
The mannerisms.
The same
He
mold.
mentioned that too.
Mold.
He mentioned that on Joe Rogan's. He's like, "Oh, because I did a few things with Kevin Booth back when I was younger." But
the teeth.
I don't know, man.
The mannerisms is what got me, bro. They do the same. It's weird, dude.
Are there documentaries about this shit? Like,
Yeah,
you could probably find one.
Yeah, there's a good 30-minute documentary about it where they go through everything. I'm surprised. Wait. So you're talking on the subject without even doing your proper research, P. Mars?
What?
Jeez.
I did my research. I researched. I looked at
You looked at some images.
I already knew a lot. I already knew a lot about Bill Hicks because I was a huge Bill Hicks fan, and I knew a lot about Alex Jones. I listened to his show every day. So when I found out about this, I found childhood pictures of each, and their childhood pictures, they look totally different.
Yeah, but the CIA would put those there. Come on, think, Mars.
Childhood pictures of both, they look different.
I have a question for P. Mars, because he said something earlier. Couple minutes ago, I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. Jesus, he said he thinks flat Earth. He says flat Earth is a psyop. Why do you say that?
Because if it was legitimate, they wouldn't call it flat Earth. They would call it ball skeptic or geos. Like the whole term flat Earth. For you to call your movement flat Earth it's really not a good idea because you know that the reputation Flat Earth has, it's programmed into people's minds in education even. That.
Why do you think it's programmed into like it is? Think about it.
I'll say this though about that. When I don't think it's right that they're starting from the flat Earth. I think they should start from the heliocentric model and fucking debunk that.
That's right.
Take it apart instead of starting from flat Earth because that's way harder, dude, to start off from flat Earth.
I took it apart.
You took it apart?
That's right.
Well, dude, even I've been saying that everybody needs to dial it back and focus on where the fucking information comes from as opposed to what the information says.
Exactly.
You know, because until you can figure out what the fuck the truth is, you're not gonna. Everything else is just speculation.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
People have that habit of when trying to prove the flat Earth, all they do is debunk the globe or whatever. But that's not that. That also shouldn't be the focal point. Like I said, like NASA, that's where the info comes from. So that's where I don't know. That's what everybody needs to aim at.
Yeah. Exactly.
Big time.
I just Googled Alex Jones. The first thing that came up was from Salon Magazine. A quote from radio host Alex Jones. "I'm ready to die for Trump."
What's today?
Get the fuck out of here.
And then crazy person Alex Jones explains how Lady Gaga's halftime show was a satanic ritual. Well, it fucking was.
Foxscale says, "I can't help but see the same characters in Flat Earth and Flower Power movement." That's kind of funny. So she's saying like Flat Earth is something like a.
What's the Flower Power movement? Is that like a brony movement?
No,
it's like a brony.
The brony.
It's like the hippie shit.
P. Mars, are you a brony?
Dude, did you guys know that Nazi furries are an actual real thing?
Nazi.
Yeah.
Nazi furries.
Man, these cats don't know about furries, man.
Yeah,
you might want to leave that alone.
You went too deep for me.
Too deep. Go Google furries. Go Google furries.
I know about furries, cathexis.
You know, I know you might, but I'm saying Big L. No, I didn't mean it like that, but no. Also, bronies. I think I'm going to expose P. Mars as a brony.
Oh shit! I thought I saw a Derpy Hooves tattoo the other day, but I wasn't going to say anything.
She's talking about like Laurel Canyon and shit, right?
What, flower power? I mean, it's a hippie term.
Yeah, the hippie movement. Dude, they look like two different people to me, man.
Nah. No way.
She can see the vortex Earth thing, though.
Did you watch Turk's video yet?
Who, me? No.
Oh, that's funny you just said it, because he just did a video called Vortex Earth.
Oh, she said it. Foxcow in the chat?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
Foxcow, post a link.
Here, well, yeah, Turk put it up. It's he just did a video showing.
Oh, I guess it's about hugging trees being good for you.
Drinking urine.
And hugging trees, but don't drink the urine.
Yeah.
Hugging a tree is okay, as long as you don't mind a little bit of ants or something.
What if I drink a tree and hug my urine?
That urine's pretty slippery. It's going to be kind of hard to hang on to.
Would
you gotta do it in the shower.
Would you be embarrassed to hug a tree in public?
I wouldn't. I don't just control people.
Yeah, we know you wouldn't.
Apparently, there's these things called ecosexuals, and these are people who there's like places in LA and New York where they have it set up where you can come in and have sex with like soil and trees and shrubberies. Actually, Tim Osmond told me about it, but if you Google it, Google ecosexual. And
is that a new gender?
Yeah, they're trying to make it that way.
Tree.
Oh,
I knew
There's
that
a guy who tried to marry a tree.
I knew that Tim Osmond was a bad influence on you, cathexis.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah. Oh, just by the way, Hank, you've now been viewed as a shill over in Poncho Chan. A4 is calling you a shill now. And,
I don't think anybody believes A4.
you'd be shocked.
Yeah,
He's got a wrench, and he's over there influencing.
I can't believe they gave him back a
panel.
wrench.
Wait a minute, he's over there and he's like accepted?
Yeah, I'm saying, dude, it's weird.
You don't know this?
No, I've been away for a couple
He's
days.
on right. Yeah, he's on right now. They're best buddies right now, and he's been ruining it left and right. Flat Earth Alaska got booted today. ADR
No
got
way.
attacked by him, and then he said, and I don't trust Hank. He's too nice. I think he's chill.
Nice.
That's what he said.
Wow,
That's
damned
what
if you
A4
do,
said.
damned if you don't.
And so he's like, yeah, it just looks like a setup. I don't know. And so he got Poncho thinking about it differently. It's all fucked up, man.
Well, on the other hand, I was helping Richard with his new cell phone today, and I gave him some free apps that were off Google Store apps. And Richard said that they had viruses on them. And I think everybody knows you get an app, you don't update it. You go into the Google Store application or whatever, you don't update it, right?
Yeah.
He thinks I gave him viruses. So everybody over there...
Who?
Richard Garnash.
Good.
He thinks I gave him viruses, but I'm using these apps daily, and I don't have any problems. Long battery. I don't think I got any viruses.
No, I know what you're talking about. I used to get apps like that. There's like a certain way you can get like paid for apps for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm using one called V-Share right now.
And Dickie Garnish thinks that you gave him virus.
Yeah, he thinks I was trying to wreck his phone, and for the most part, these kind of phones, these Samsung Androids, if they get a virus, you just reset it.
Can you even give a phone a virus?
Yeah, it can get a virus. There's like ransom viruses where you have to reset it in order to use your phone again, or pay like a ridiculous amount of money, like $300 to $500.
They're basically they're computers now.
Fucking rip off.
Yeah, you didn't know about the ransom viruses? It's pretty common.
I
didn't send him anything like that. He said there was viruses in the updates.
No, he's retarded.
I just read an article about like a hacker group who hacked a hotel security where they had the doors were all controlled by computers, and they locked all the people in the hotel in their who were in their rooms or out of their rooms.
I stayed
and
at.
they held him for ransom. The hotel paid him in bitcoins, and then they released him. It's fucked up.
Dude, I paid. That is fucked up. I stayed over at an in-town suites for 3 weeks before I moved into my place in Denver, right? Because we moved out there with like a one-way ticket. We just posted up in there until we found a place. And there was a kid I became friends with who was like really into electronics. He was using like Arduinos and like cracking fucking Android phones and shit. And he found the software of the electronic door locks with the card. He found the software to make a universal key where he was able to just put it into any door and get in any fucking room. So, I mean, technology is crazy. If you got the know-how, people can do anything.
This is why I'm not going to trust those cars that drive themselves, because they can fucking hack that shit and drive you off a cliff. Like, that's fucked up.
Actually, there's a thing on YouTube where they did that, where they were showing how easy they can hack it through radio frequency from your radio. Doesn't even need to be directly through Wi-Fi. And I think that a lot of times we hear about these crazy accidents from like certain people or whatever. I mean,
who was that reporter like 4 or 5 years ago? There his car exploded or something like that.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he was taken out. And how easy would it be for them to take people out in their car and make it look like an accident? Cops ain't gonna rule a homicide.
Who got taken out? The guy from Fast and Furious?
No,
we got him too.
It was a reporter guy.
They already have with that OnStar shit the ability to turn people's cars off, like when the police are chasing them.
Yep.
Dude, does anybody know who?
That's his name, Michael Hastings. May he rest in peace. Sorry, Cat.
Oh no, that's him. I was gonna interject something. You guys know who Dallas Goldbug is?
Yeah,
you're pretty sure you know. You know P-Mars? This is the Everybody is Someone Else.
This would basically be a Bill Hicks, Alex Jones type thing.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter's really Kennedy, that kind of stuff. Well, I just poked over here into the chat over at Poncho Chan, and A4 said the Jimmy Carter theory is very plausible. Dallas Goldbug is an amazing researcher.
There's one that says Saddam Hussein and Pablo Escobar are the same person.
I've heard Bush is Charles Manson. Fucking Morgal put this out. Bush Jr. is Charles Manson.
What?
Yeah, dude. Morgal did this.
I knew I didn't like that guy.
Yeah.
You know what? Alex Jones actually made a really good point on that bringing back to that Joe Rogan
Are
show.
you a shill for Alex Jones? You're like
I feel like it. I don't know. It's the one video I watched today, so But he said that all these conspiracies, like the Bill Hicks is Alex Jones and Flat Earth, are just to distract people from real conspiracies. I think he has a point there, man. Because
but then what did he go on to say?
What good does? I don't remember.
He went on to say blood-sucking aliens are eating children and ruin the world.
Actually, they talked about some pretty cool shit. They talked about the whole
secret space program.
Well, hold on.
With bases on the moon.
No, hold on. But that was a joke. But they went and talked. They actually had a good serious. I just listened to the first hour. They had a good conversation about Pizzagate, where Alex Jones made a good point about Pizzagate being a quagmire for the public to focus on Pizzagate while these real pedophile rings were going down at the same time.
Oh, dude. Fuck, dude.
Wait, hold up. Quagmire is a real word?
Yeah.
Dude, my father
means a boondoggle. Come on.
Yeah, all right.
Get with the picture.
So my father-in-law is like a 4chan troll, right? And he's old, but he pays attention to all the political stuff or whatever. Apparently, WikiLeaks released Vault 7, or they released a few pictures, and it showed. It was a picture of Norway. It was a picture of the article with the pedophilia ring. It was a picture of a rocket. It was a picture of the seed vault that they have up there, and something else. I can't remember what it was. So it was kind of cryptic or something like that too. And I don't know when they're going to release it, but it's supposed to be real big because they just released the CIA's involvement with Syria, and it's not fucking good.
Dude. Oh, no, of course. We know it's all ISIS is them. But no,
hey, I got a question.
Somebody say, yeah, what's up?
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting. Go ahead.
Well, just briefly, I saw somebody say, actually two people said in Jaren's chat today, that something like 200 people in the political institutions here in the U.S. are going to be charged with, sex trafficking and pedophilia charges. And then somebody confirmed it. They said they saw it on news maps.
Yeah, some guy was going around claiming that that David Seaman guy picked it up and put it on his YouTube channel that arrests were imminent, but it's still we're 3 or 4 days after the fact right now. So
yeah. Oh, I thought it was today.
Hey Suzanne, how are you?
I was going to ask, is it okay if I simulcast this program onto my channel?
Of course.
You got to share those shekels.
I just wanted to try it. I don't.
No, go for it.
I don't put ads on my shit.
I don't put ads on my shit.
When I end this, I don't know. I'll plug you. Everyone can go check out your stream when I end this or whatever. If you want to do that.
Yeah, Hank Schill's great. Everybody needs to know about Hank Schill.
Yeah, you don't need to delete your shit. Don't delete it. I just wanted to try it, see what happens.
That's right.
I'm experimenting. I'll delete my shit.
That's right.
No one has to delete anyone's shit.
Free info for all.
Well, if you don't put ads on it, 9 times out of 10, YouTube's gonna stick ads on it if there is copyright shit.
Or the worst, worst they'll do is just block the video.
Yeah. And usually that's when you put your own ads on it, because you can't do that.
Fuck just came in. The ghost.
Hank.
Two Hanks are better than one.
That's right.
It's Hank's handler. Hank's handler.
Hank.
Bobby.
It's gonna, like, it's 38 degrees here today. It's gonna be like 43 tomorrow. I'm gonna die.
Well,
I'm gonna be
goddamn.
living in the shower. I'm gonna be living in the shower all day, okay, tomorrow? Try not to get my phone wet and talking on here.
Yeah, I
Maybe
can't
I'll
stand
set
that
up my
cold.
son's swimming pool and get in it.
Those inflatable ones or what?
Yeah, it's like about up to my boobs.
How tall are you?
Yeah. Only 5'2". I'm very
Goddamn.
short.
Shorty.
Yeah.
Yeah, shorty. For real.
Yeah. I like being short. It's fun. It's better than being tall and having a bad back, like you tall people.
That's fucked up. I don't have a bad
My
back.
back is strong.
You're a bad
Yeah,
back.
for real.
I said it's better than being tall.
We take
There's
backs
a lot
out.
of tall people. A lot of tall people get bad backs later on in life. I'm not saying now. I'm saying when you're like 50, 60, and you've got a bad
Shaq's
back
still
and you can't
good.
walk. You don't know that. You might get.
No, Shaq ain't good. I seen him do a what do you call it? Commercial the other day, and he was like, "I retired."
I'm retired.
He's a freemason.
Jack is for
What?
sure a Freemason. I've seen the pictures.
He was
yeah,
bragging
Shaq.
about that shit on ESPN.
He's got his ring like blinged out and shit on ESPN.
He's probably in the boule.
He is. He is.
Armando didn't want to admit that.
Dude, he's got a picture of
Fucking
course.
moron.
Armando.
Oh shit!
But
I
no,
got
he's got a
of
picture
something.
of Shaq with the little apron on.
Yeah. With
Cute little ape.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here it is. I'm looking at it right now.
Jimmy
Shit,
G.
just type it.
I got 35
Yeah.
beers in me. Let's talk NASA.
It's fucked up, man.
What do you say?
Who said that?
Jimmy Jedu DUI.
It's fucked up, dude.
Hey guys, I put a picture in the chat. Is that handshake a Masonic handshake? I'm curious. It looks a little screwy.
Let's see.
I picked that out when I seen the suit.
Yes, that is a.
It's hard to tell.
No, it is.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, I'm taking a picture of this right now.
That could be a regular handshake, man. I mean,
They put the thumb between the knuckle.
Yeah, they put it between the knuckles.
It's a 30-second because of the way he's got his thumb overlapped to that second knuckle in a deeper grip. Go look at it, seriously.
Look, shake someone's hand tomorrow. It looks the same.
No. You see how they have their hands like kind of arched out so they can get like a deeper shake where he can grab his knuckle?
Yeah,
That's
but
not
it's
a normal
usually
hand
between the knuckles or on the
But
knuckle.
a typical
It's on the
handshake,
second one.
a typical handshake, your thumb's gonna go on the other person's fucking second knuckle on that thumb. I don't know.
No.
I just remember
That's
if
the
you look up
BBC would like to apologize for the next
shaking hands with Nas, they're doing it. I was kind of hurt when I saw that
Unless,
shit.
unless Bob Kraft and Roger Goodell are in like mid daps.
Here,
That's
let
just
me
like
see if I can find
where
the
the picture was cut.
You guys ever seen
Yeah,
this,
it's supposed to be more on the knuckle. I get what you're saying there. But
Yeah.
it's hard to say. I mean, of course, these guys are. I mean, it's all rigged, man. Football.
It's definitely rigged.
The fucking Patriots come back like.
I don't know if you can rig that game, man.
What, you don't? Oh wait, you think gematria is real and you can predict next
Well,
year's.
nah. First off, let's have somebody figure out gematria in Chinese with 126 figures to their alphabet. Compare it to English and then talk to me. Anyway, but no, I mean, like they were down a lot, and like the other team collapsed, and it was like they didn't lead the game like for 1 second. I love football, dude. Fuck it, whatever.
You don't think it's possibly rigged in any way?
No, I don't know. Maybe some stuff, but not too much.
You're such a normie, Ed.
No, well, dude. I mean, I know the
No.
I know that the fucking basketball was fucking rigged for a season, or at least it came out with that, and it was right around when the what was it, the Chinese mafia, like the Japanese yakuza or something, were caught rigging they were caught rigging the international soccer championships or some shit like that. And like they were paying the refs off and like threatening their lives if they didn't take the money, shit like that. So I know it can be done, but I don't think football. I don't know if it's set up that way where you could actually like throw a game unless like
Hold up. I just
hands.
looked at the pictures of the handshakes, and that one looks very similar to what's called the pass grip of a master mason. Because they're not touching like an identical, like they're not touching specific knuckles in this. Like the thumb is just laid over the back of the first two, and the hands are like that.
Comparative. Fuck.
Man, these rich assholes, come on.
Like the Master Mason grip is like they grab each other's wrist almost. I don't know if you guys seen it.
Yeah, there's two of them that are like that. What's this?
Simulcast successful.
There you go.
What is this, P-Mark? What are you showing? All right. Apparently Freemason. There's a Monty Python Freemasonry skit. I haven't seen that. Right? Fuck P-Bars.
I think Riz is a Mason too. I think all those motherfuckers are Masons though at this point.
Yeah, at this point.
Because I seen that picture of RZA where he's like covering one eye. I was like, fuck.
Oh yeah.
They got like Shaq's like a fucking open Mason and like wears his rings and shit on the news.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I don't think Jay-Z is. I think he's good.
I don't know. My mic fucked up. I thought you guys were ignoring me.
Oh shit! I just found out RZA's a 33rd degree Freemason.
Oh my god.
So,
digital.
KRS One is. I just saw a video of him talking about. He
said, he's a 34.
Oh yeah, he said the Masons are righteous.
Honorary.
He's like the Masons are righteous slave owners. But
well, he doesn't say slave owner.
No, he doesn't say slave owner. I was joking. But this is a Monty Python sketch about architects, and they're making fun of we're talking about the handshakes. So they do these like goofy ass handshakes here to make fun of the like Freemason things, right?
Let me see.
You see how they're like shaking hands goofily? I'll show it again.
I guess you can't play it.
Yeah, I can play it. You see it? See, like they go to shake hands and they like do this stupid handshake. You see it?
No, my shit's fucked up. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, they have they also have another sketch, how to recognize a Mason. Well, they're showing it there.
So RZA and Method Man sold out. ODB was killed.
Pretty much.
He knew the truth.
They're making fun of
relates to society.
They're making fun of conspiracy theorists. This is way back in the day. This is Monty Python. They're doing they're making fun of the hand grip, and then they're showing like Freemasons. You can recognize them because they hop around with their pants down. And it's just.
I gotta go see this clip. That's funny.
You know how P-Mark's probably knows. You know how they make them do rituals like blood rituals, gay rituals, sex magic, shit like that.
Yeah.
Masturbate in a coffin and shit.
There used to be rumors that Method Man and Redman were a couple.
I believe.
I'm dead serious, dude. You guys
not Redman, not Redman.
Not Redman.
No, and it's funny because I think Redman's like the more feminine one.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that.
It's weird.
My childhood.
I know, dude. That's bro. I
puff so much of that green, I bleed guacamole.
Bro, I used to I grew up listening to Kanye, right? Like his first 3 albums were like the shit to me, but then there was like rumors of him and John Legend.
No. Puff Daddy runs it. There's like a gay mafia out there with the black hip hop community and shit.
Redman's Muddy Waters is the shit.
Classic.
The gay documentary I was telling you about is
Hold on a second. Richard Garnash is on Poncho Chan right now.
Oh my gosh.
A4 vouched for him. Hold on. Hear this.
Oh my god. Yeah, can you play it in your mic? Jeez. I can't.
Let's all just go on mute and look at it individually.
I can't stand listening to Richard Garnosh.
Reintegration. I looked into them, and it's a lot of proper speak about working.
He's just gonna troll them, man.
That's what he's doing. Everybody's complaining.
I don't know if that's another word for
Richard.
CGI to save the budget or whatever.
Jibby's on about
When
it.
it's people believe that that's real footage,
But your
it's
thing-
not. And they're saying prove it's CGI. Of course, I can't prove that it's code unless it's a raw file or whatever. So I gotta look for impossibilities in the Google, and that's a clear one right there. Along, there's other ones too. In those launches, that's just like that's my first target. Another
Is
one
it-
after fuel tank.
Is it possible that it could be something in the camera? I haven't seen it, and I don't know.
Well, that's a whole other thing. We couldn't even.
Yeah, he's just quibbling with Jibby right now.
Oh God, I don't even want to listen.
Yeah.
To that.
Oh, it's over.
I think
It got sniped.
Did they?
Yeah, they shut it down. Or
Yeah,
they
but
got
Hank Schill, he's the one you got to watch out for.
Yeah,
right?
a nice one.
Dude, maybe he sniped it.
I
What
think
the hell happened?
I think PMars and Flat Earth Math are the same person.
I think PMars is Alex Jones.
No, I think I work in the industry.
I think Ed is R. Kelly.
B.O.B. Big L. That's you, man. I knew it.
Bobby.
Bobby Ray.
I'm an astrophysicist.
Yeah. Are you in the astronomy industry?
Oh God, that was so good.
He's working for the poker division.
Yeah.
Dude, Dave High's in here being all super nice. He has no idea that he was called the show.
Did they take his ranch
And-
away?
No, not yet, but
Not yet.
yeah, they ended the show for some reason. Now, A4 is saying Richard did nothing, but he don't know how to snipe. Richard's not very bright with that kind of stuff.
Can you revoke wrenches?
Yeah, that's what they
Yes.
do when they don't accept you anymore.
Then you're the outcast of the outcasts.
Yeah. That's fucked up when you fucked up when flat earthers kick you off.
Right? Yeah. You got shipped to ship over here. He got kicked out.
Oh yeah.
They voted me off the flat Earth.
And they went back to the globe because of it. Thanks, Poncho. We lost a good mind.
Matthew too.
Oh yeah, Matthew, dude. What the fuck, dude?
And proprietor. Well, I don't know if proprietor switched. I actually talked to someone who used to be involved in the scene and privately today. I don't know if they want me to name who they are. We kind of talked about how this whole YouTube hangout scene is full of a bunch of clowns, and probably the smartest move is just to leave it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
The word?
Talk to Tim tonight?
No.
Oh. Who was it?
I don't know if I want to say who they are because
Okay.
they've gone. They're not a part of the scene anymore. I'll say that.
It had to have been Stars Our Souls. No. But that dude fucking disappeared too.
He was on Trisha Steer show like 8 months ago. He came back for her 100th episode or something. Dude shot out.
Right, he just fucking disappeared, man.
That's right.
His channel was always fucking real fishy to me. He'd have 300,000 subs, and he post a video, get maybe 700 views.
What about Mark Sargent being on ponchos? That was fucking random, dude.
That's why I was saying, man, either Poncho's having a meltdown or he's fucking posturing himself, and possibly even fucking both, man. But all of a sudden, some of the top brass just started showing up on Poncho.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
What would he be posturing himself for?
I don't know, to get the top brass on Poncho Chan? To become top brass?
I never wanted to be top brass. I talk too much shit.
And you slum it with the trolls, man. You get called a shill because of it.
Whatever. People are people, so what should it be?
Yeah.
Well, I'm with you.
But some trolling is really nasty and evil, but then some trolling is pretty lighthearted. You know.
I've seen nasty trolling. I've seen it.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate the people who expose people for being chill. Me to the light about journalism. Thanks to him, I will not be deceived by that man.
See, that's what I like, because I do like to expose these people who are trying to lead truth movements, because not a lot of people are doing it, and the people that are doing it are doing a really shitty job. Like, I watched a video exposing Nathan Oakley, and it just was like, look at all these mean things he says in YouTube comments. What a psychopath. And guess what? He likes cartoons. Like, totally exposed, man. Good job.
What?
There's some
You
guy
mean an 80s baby who likes cartoons?
Yeah, some guy made a video exposing Nathan Oakley, and like, I guess he did have a good point. Nathan does sometimes say mean things in YouTube comments, but that's about was his only crime. But he ends the video being like, "What grown man watches cartoons?" Some sort of like slight against. I don't know. You can search like Nathan Oakley psychopath exposed. Probably.
I mean, that guy saying that probably plays video games.
Yeah.
So like, what the fuck?
It's funny.
I'm probably gonna play video games till like, fucking die, bro.
Yeah, it's like a lot of the
not gonna stop.
The exposing of like Alex Jones is like, oh, he's Bill Hicks. It's like stupid shit like that, or like A4 when he exposes.
It was
shills,
5 red pairs,
stupid
wasn't it?
shit. Like,
yeah, shit like that.
Like,
I behaved bad in this room and got banned. Therefore, there.
Yeah, I threatened to kill his wife and kids, but I got banned for no reason.
Ridiculous shit.
It's fucking pathetic.
And like, how many fucking videos do we need about 9/11 truth or whatever truth? There's just so much shit out there.
By the way, speaking of journalism, he did one on Larry Silverstein, which I thought it was cool because, Larry Silverstein's the devil.
Yeah, Zionist Jew.
That's really fucked up. The whole the insurance scam he ran on 9/11 blatantly doesn't matter.
I've heard people argue that he was set up. That they put the Jew in the place to set up the Jew.
Yeah. There's some validity to that, Cathexis, because when they were doing the bids to see who got the lease, the Jesuit man beat him. But, of course, you don't want the Jesuit guy to be the fall guy. But a Jesuit guy, or a Catholic guy, it was one of those, beat him for the lease. You guys can look at it, bro. That's just crazy.
Yeah, but I think it was
that blew my
place, and they just arranged it that way.
Yeah,
part
that's
of the
what I'm saying,
fucking
though.
plan. I think he's part of the plan. Zionist.
I want to see a debate between the two. We got to get our best people and put them together. Shouldn't be that hard to prove that they're both the same people, I think.
Yeah.
The Jews and the Jesuits, not every Jew, but every Jesuit.
I remember that was the big debate back in the day when Oracle Broadcasting was going. It turned into like a lot of the hosts there went and started blaming the Jews, and I think a lot of people in general in the mainstream or the alternative media, blame the Jews, and you don't really hear a lot of Jesuit blaming. I think Vatican Assassins is one of the few documentaries I know of.
Well, there was Learn of the Jesuit Order, but I don't know what happened to that guy. He kind of got compromised or something.
But there's tons of videos exposing Jews.
That was really weird. Learn of the Jesuit Order was putting out amazing fucking NASA. The dude was funny as shit, too. And he was, like, put out amazing, like calling this out, calling that out. And then all of a sudden, he deletes everything and makes a short little 2-minute video where he says, I was wrong. ISS is doing real science. Stop using my stuff. Like it was, but he said that specifically. ISS is doing real science. And if you had seen all of his stuff leading up to that point, it made no fucking sense.
Dude, didn't he allude that he got visited by some people?
Yeah.
Because I used to listen to this stuff all the time. I love that dude's channel. He had some fucking awesome content.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, dude, when he would read the fucking articles, the space articles in here. I'd cry laughing, dude. That dude would have me fucking rolling. And then that shit went down, and he fucking removed everything.
Mm-hmm. And then he went after people who were using his stuff.
Yep. But now he's kind of back almost. But he almost just specifically mirrors PK, which is suspect.
Oh, did you hear what happened to PK?
No.
Oh my God. So you know that Melbourne
the car
thing? Well, he was covering it pretty hard because he's near there.
Yeah, he got national news over there.
Well, here's what happened. They fucking it's called it's a Jewish magazine or a Jewish newspaper. I can't remember what it was. He calls it like the Jew newspaper for some reason. But they wrote an article about him about being anti-Semitic and attacking this because all he did was he called the hospital to see if that little girl was there at the hospital. But the problem was the girl was Jewish. So they went after him, and he had to go to court. They arrested him, and they put him with 3 appointments at the mental ward. They were trying to say that he was mental, essentially.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he just got through all. I listened. Russian Vids put up the interview today.
Does everybody see the importance of the fucking First Amendment? All you fucking non-Americans out there,
You're
USA, USA.
Shout out to Shroomy.
That's fucked up though. If that happened to him, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Australia will fucking send you to prison for saying shit fucking that people don't agree with, man.
Well,
same thing with Canada, England, places like that, dude. There's no free speech.
Those 14 countries in Europe.
Right?
Yeah, right.
You know that guy, what was it? It was one of those fucking terrorist attacks out in Germany. Some dude called, he was calling the guy that was shooting people with an AK a wanker. And they sent him to prison for a year for hate speech. I'm not joking. While he was shooting people, he was trying to distract them, throwing bottles at them. And they sent him away for a year for hate speech. I swear to God, look that up, man.
That's pathetic, dude.
Pipe down, you wanker.
What are you doing, you fucking wanker?
You docile cunt.
You fucking cunt. You're not a real flat earther. God damn it.
Dude, that
what about Fanny's video, though?
That Fanny video was off the chain.
He went from Irish to Jamaican, dude.
Yeah.
He started off Irish and then went Jamaican.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, am I hearing shit wrong? What the fuck?
You tried to bully them. You're not going to bully me, Pancho.
Do not bully me.
You just hear P. Mars cracking up in the background.
Man. That video, that was so good. Because Fanny was so right. Like, Pancho was kind of trying to bully people into thinking a certain way, which is fucked up. And he just called him out on it.
Hey, shout out to Carl in the chat.
Yeah,
he said that he was trying to call when you got through.
That's funny.
He's in Boston. Nice.
Shout out to that nigga Carl.
That's funny, man. Oh, man. I can't believe that happened tonight. That's funny as fuck.
Yeah. I shouldn't have even told you, P. Mars. You just dissuaded, like, all these people now. You're like Star Trails, duh. I don't want anybody to go down this path. Or whatever you said.
You just, like, give me these ideas of shit I can do to fuck with people.
I do, man.
You should fucking live stream it, bro. It'll be awesome.
I didn't. No, he was all into that.
No, he didn't really. He just gave me that. He's like, yo, Mark Sargent's on this radio. And I was like, oh shit, I'll listen to it. Oh shit, why don't I call in?
Oh my god, Fallen Angel said that she's getting called a fat ugly bitch by this Daphne Remmel girl.
Wow, really?
That new girl on the scene. Are you serious?
Why are flat earthers so mean to fallen angels? Isn't she a flat earther?
I don't know, but that's messed up.
I'm pretty sure she's a flat earther.
That could be another thing to add to the psyop theory. It's just dividing all the people.
Flat Earthers definitely seem really paranoid, given the fact that Poncho probably still thinks I'm Bob High.
And I'm from Texas.
No matter how much I love Pete, he's the most paranoid one I've met so far. He thinks everyone's an agent.
P. Maz is really Dan Pratt.
Pete Shea.
Fuck NASA!
Pete Shea is super paranoid too. He was thinking that Wendy was an agent because she witnessed, I guess, one of the 9/11 plane crash, and she had, she said she knew people that died on 9/11, and of course, you know, no one died on 9/11. So if you knew people that died, you're like covering for the official story or something.
Yeah.
Even though you're a flat earther and a conspiracy theorist, like what the fuck, man?
No one died. No one got.
But in all fairness,
People like.
Go ahead, Hank.
People like driving wedges recently.
Yeah. But remember, nobody died, nobody got hurt.
Hey, Hank.
And
Hank.
Jimmy Carter is
JFK.
Hank, have you ever heard of Pearl Harbor?
Yes, sir.
No bombs were dropped. Nobody
died. Nobody got
It's a
hurt.
conspiracy.
No bombs were dropped.
That's a hard one to swallow, man.
Prove me wrong.
Okay, Pete.
Do some more research, okay? Just go do some more research.
I'm breaking your balls, Hank.
That's funny.
Oh, I know.
Dude, I remember asking Pete once, "Hey, Pete, do you think natural disasters are a hoax?" He's like, "Well," dude, as soon as he said "well," I had to mute myself. Dude, I started laughing so hard when he said that. Even though there is some validity to that because of HARP.
Yeah.
But the fact that he didn't even think about it, he just said, "Well."
I think they do have weather modification. I think they can make earthquakes, and I really think they steered Katrina into.
Yep. And they blew the fucking levees, dude.
Yep.
There was evidence of them blowing the levees.
I think the most convincing argument in the weather control happened on 9/11. Do you guys?
I was going to bring that up right now, dude.
Yep.
The one that didn't hit New York, it took a hard right. That shit doesn't fucking happen.
Oh shit!
And
What's
it
up,
was like
lived?
there was those big ass squares in the fucking grid. If you look at the weather map.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Yo,
what's going on, man?
What the
What's up,
fuck?
Boricua?
What's up, Papa? Moreno, no.
Moreno.
Oh shit! I haven't talked to you in a bit, man. You
What's
been
going
well?
on, man? Yeah, I'm alive. I'm alive.
Yeah, what was the name of that hurricane? Hurricane Andrew?
No,
Matthew?
it wasn't
Some
Andrew.
shit. I forgot what the fuck they name.
No, it wasn't Andrew. Andrew's the one that hit Florida. Like,
Yeah, that was in the
Let me
90s.
find out.
95 or something.
No,
Hey, lived it. You were on the ground.
Julius,
my bad, brother. Julius, you were on the ground on 9/11, correct?
Correct.
See, this is the people that I like to listen to about 9/11. The people that were there, the people that know. Everybody else, secondhand information, right, Kat?
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I think the information is out there. All of the information, except for the shit that doesn't make any sense, like certain buildings that fell for no fucking reason.
Ooh.
But I think all the information is out there.
It was
we're
called.
seeing-
Oh, sorry. I just want to say that
Oh, go
hurricane
ahead,
was
man.
called Hurricane Aaron, by the way.
Okay, thank you.
Aaron.
Thanks for the fact check.
Yeah, ERIN.
Yeah.
oh, she's Irish. Which reminds me, I've been thinking about getting on the whole SJW thing. I was looking in the dictionary the other day because I used the word ire, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I know what that means. And it said angry, and I was like, wait a second. Ireland. Angry land. Shouldn't that be fucking changed? What's up? What's up? Join my safety pin army. Oh.
Well, they were angry until all the Protestants just about got wiped out, and now they're
right. Well, Scotland's full of Scots. England is full of Ings, and fucking Ireland's full of angry people. It's angry land.
Actually, We got Fox in the chat right now, and I wanted to bring this up with her before. She says she was 6 blocks away from the OKC bombing.
Oh shit!
The federal building in Oklahoma. So.
Yeah, we forget that one.
Yeah,
that was actually the first major mass casualty terrorist attack in this country.
I should have a box somewhere in here that says Nichols McVeigh files that my fucking mother-in-law gave me when I moved from North Carolina. No joke. I gotta find that. It might be in my attic. But I'm not.
What was she again?
Huh? She's a marshal at the new federal building in OKC.
Mark my words, there's a growing swell of people who consider that cocksucker like somewhat of a quote-unquote patriot.
Yeah.
There's a growing swell of them.
I could see that. His shit on fucking Netflix is, I hate to say it, it's moving to an extent.
Well, that's, you don't gotta hate to say that. It's designed that way. It's edited. That's
No, I know.
What do they call that shit? Cinematography or whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I live in this area, and there's a lot of stuff I've heard people talk about that like I don't hear like in the mainstream like conspiracy land type stuff.
Right.
And that whole thing that happened, it was, I don't know. I don't believe that it was just some dude with a fucking truck full of shit. Like, that's retarded, I think.
It was before the internet, so they were able to get away with these types of things, you know, way
right.
easier.
There's no way it's just going to take one fucking building out when there's a building across the street. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Plus, there was early footage of them talking about removing secondary and third explosive devices.
It's just that BBC news report just nails it for me. That's all it does.
Oh, at 9/11? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the one where they fucking called Building 7 45 minutes before it fell on their phone?
Crazy.
Yeah. They interviewed her later, and she said that she's been terrorized by conspiracy theorists insinuating that she's in on it because a mistake was made. Well, bitch, how you got that mistake in your
That's not a mistake. That's a prediction.
It couldn't have happened any other way. I mean, if you think about it, like they announced it 45 minutes before it happened.
That's not a coincidence.
The shit was on the screen behind
this is the type of shit that, in all due honesty, guys, I won't run my mouth too much, but this, for me, this is the type of shit that it's beyond infuriating. It's actually the type of shit that makes us almost despise civilians, because everything is sensationalism. No one gives a fuck about anything. And before even that incident happened, where you clearly seen the bird talking directly to the fucking camera with the building behind her, and you know, she says, you know, it collapsed and everything, and then she spun away out of it, and you know, you can rest assured she was given instructions to do that, and everybody looked the other way.
Yeah.
Our people look the other fucking way. This is what I'm talking about, man. Like, I think civilians, especially these mouthy fuckers, they would be shocked if they walked through as a fly on the wall in your average Marine Corps infantry barracks. There's almost a disdain for these characters. Really, because this is the type of, listen, we heard something introduced into the lexicon 2 weeks ago in the American lexicon called quote unquote alternative fact.
Mm-hmm.
Is that me?
Yeah, what's supposed to happen?
Yeah, you're muted.
Lexicon, that's where you left off.
Yeah, the alternative fact. We didn't hear past that.
No, I didn't want to really go on a rant, but I'm just saying that.
Nah, dude, go ahead.
Well, that in and of itself is telling.
Yeah.
It's telling, and it's revealing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember before that fat hidden fucking gray coat Alex Jones, before this character, I remember when just listening to Art Bell and Coast to Coast shit like that in the late 90s, and there was so many people talking about the black helicopters and martial law and NWO and this, that, and the other, almost 20 years later, people are treating this shit like it's. I don't know, man. It's. I'm not too coherent because I get really angry.
Yeah.
Okay, I get really fucking angry. And true patriots that put blood, sweat, and tears for this shit that we call patriotism.
Yes,
and I
sir.
don't mean to besmirch anything. You know, if you got somebody I can't see the chat. I'm on my phone on the Hangout. So if you got somebody mouthy in the chat, he said fucking patriot. Fuck you. I've done it while you were playing Call of Duty. So if you got a problem with it, go pound sand. I'm easier to find in person than online. But I got a problem with this. There's people who are talking martial law. You hear alternative facts. I hear open, not threats, but I hear open suggestions over the past 14 days of deploying troops across this country. Starting with Chicago. I guess if Chicago's a shithole, the worst, bloodiest place of all time. I know here in Queens it was worse than that. Here, growing up as a kid, you got people talking about deploying troops to U.S. cities. That's effectively martial law, ladies and gentlemen. Where's all these fucking patriots and flag-waving motherfuckers? Where'd they all go? I am telling you this, and I'm super late, because just like someone mentioned Orwellian type shit, people have been saying this for decades. When the shit comes down, just like Hitler's lieutenant said, these cocksuckers will beg for it. They will applaud it. They will fly flags and the whole 9 yards to instill tyranny in this country. And I think for every ghost in Arlington, every martyr who's done anything for civil rights, not just blacks, for you hidden fucking gray coats. Obviously, I'm not talking to you guys. You guys know you got a lot of trolls that listen to you. All the people who have died and sacrificed to make this country what it is.
You hidden gray coats. That's amazing. That is awesome. I was just sorry.
Well, I'm not talking. Obviously, I'm not talking to anybody here on the panel, man. Obviously.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. You said that. That's fucking spot on, dude. Spot on.
Yeah, you nailed it. Appreciate it, brother. It's the truth.
Well, dude, I was arguing. Well, it really wasn't arguing with my neighbor, but I was fucking talking with my neighbor the other day, and he was getting on me about shit, and I was like, dude, I was like, don't give me any of that bullshit. Like, I don't know. I don't want to get into it. Never mind. Let me just pump the brakes on that. Finish what you said.
I can imagine what you were about to say, and I'll furthermore say how fucked up it is. And you guys know me. Like, this is this is no bullshit for me. But I can see how, especially growing up in other parts of the country. And let's just kick the ballistics and be honest. You grow up in other parts of the country, and you are not, black, Spanish, Italian, something like this. If you're just a regular brother or sister, like, and you just so happen to be white, I can understand how, even though you see the bullshit, it's increasingly difficult to call out, because a lot of times. I just understand. I understand why you had to pause there, but believe me, I feel you 1,000%. There's a lot of morons, and it's not just the gray coats and these red suspender motherfuckers. You go look at those black Nazis, darker than me, in Chicago. They call themselves the Nation of Islam. You go look at those.
I'm talking about the bus, man. Come on.
No, well, again, I don't mean any disrespect, man. I'm just, I'm getting close to 40 years old. A professor told me when I was a young man, he said, the older you get, the more cynical you get. He was spot on, because I'm starting to get to the point where it's at eye level. Okay, I got to tip my head up to get a gulp of air. Like, I'm sick of the bullshit.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a bunch of people who were complete fucking morons in high school. You know jack shit about even fucking regular English, let alone history, law, civics, any of this type of stuff. These are the delightfully hateful motherfuckers that are running it. It's like WWF fans everywhere. No disrespect, I was a WWF fan as a kid too. But I'm saying it's like this, a bunch of fucking morons that they're ushering in tyranny. It's not just a race thing or class thing. I happen to think class is a bigger issue than race. But it's not just that. It's delight in hate. and blissfully ignorant motherfucker. They love it. Like how you guys were talking not too long ago. You got people here in 2017 look you dead in the fucking eye and tell you the earth is flat and mean it. They know they're saying bullshit, but they look you in the eye and they'll tell you that. They'll tell you this. They'll tell you this straight up, straight face. You're facing something new that somebody's got to educate me. In my analysis of history, from what I recall, from what I've studied on my own, I've never seen a time like this in which open falsehoods, clear bullshit is the scientific term, is fawned over. There's always been times in history, most of history is a record of some lie or twisted truth being purported as the truth. But when the bullshit comes out, it usually sparks change, revolution, whatever, something like that. This is the first time in history that I have ever, and someone clue me in if I'm wrong, I have never seen a time where people are, like they used to say around here, wrong and strong, where they know they're wrong, they know they're fucked up, and they're proud of it.
Arrogant and wrong.
We are going on a ride, ladies and gentlemen.
I think the way the system's been built over the past 20 years, it's meant to be party before people, party before country. And that's poison, and that's meant to divide. I mean, if the country is so fucking divided, then why hasn't, all right, like for instance, like why hasn't the left really instead of trying to nationalize the entire country, why haven't they just embraced state rights and then the 10th Amendment and then actually make their commonwealths like how Massachusetts is? And they could go even further if they chose so. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense to me. So it makes me think the overall of everything is actually designed to fucking split the populace in half.
It's been manufactured. It's been being worked on since 55.
Well, look at the news.
Argumentatively.
Yeah, the news don't tell you the fucking news, man. They tell you what they want you to tell. They want you to know.
Yeah, it's state media. It's been state-run media since '73.
So let's decide. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, let's decide right now. All right, which one's worse? Some crackpot telling you that he knows the Earth is flat, or the mainstream media lying on purpose? Which one's worse?
Neither.
I would have to, not to duck your question or anything, my man. As a reasonable person, I would say it's worse from the media since that is purportedly a credible source. Okay.
Absolutely.
However, and I'm not backing up, bullshit, you man. I will tell you that they are both kindred spirits. What happens is this: the moron who sits up there and tells you that the earth is flat, yada, 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 and the other character over there who tells you, every political figure or any political persuasion or whatever, oh, this is NWO and black helicopters and yada, yada, yada. It's the same spirit. I am not articulate enough to say it, but basically there is a delight, a glee, a bliss, a fawning for utter fucking nonsense. People love it. It's equivalent to the WWF fans back in the day who swear to God these punches are real by 300-pound linebacker type motherfuckers and there's no blood. I hit someone across the jaw, you'll see teeth. I almost guarantee it. And I'm not nowhere near 300 pounds. If any of you grown men do it, you punch a man in the face. You understand what I'm saying. There's a delight in bullshit.
We call it duper's delight. When they can't keep a straight face, if you're doing a surprise birthday party and you got to fight the urge to, giggle and smile and shit, we call it duper's delight. We see it all the time in the media. I could think of one example, that one girl, Alexis Israel or something like that. Well, she was the one who was the brother of the guy who got his head cut off in Syria. He was one of the media guys back in 2010, 2011 era. Maybe a little later.
I remember, yeah.
Are you talking about the tall guy with the black hair or whatever?
Yes, sir.
Did you guys see that shit that supposedly came off a McCain staffer cell phone?
No, go ahead.
No, okay. So it was like probably like a year after that, roughly. But there was green screen footage of something on a McCain staffer phone that was hacked by the Russians, supposedly. That's what I swear to God, that's what the news said. And I think maybe WikiLeaks may have released it or something.
Oh, you're
but
talking about the green screen studio of the beheadings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yo, Liv.
Wait, can I say something real quick? What Liv said about how people like all these stupid stories, yeah, that's kind of what I was echoing what Alex Jones was saying, the same thing, and it's really funny that people they go for all these stupid clickbait stories when we could have a lot more conspiracies with harder evidence that we could go after and try to make a real difference, but we don't. We pursue this stupid shit. Anyways, go ahead.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all sensationalism. Everything's sensationalism. Everything on TV is sensational. I mean, think about it. Like, what's the name? The Princess of Wales or whatever, the one that's going to be queen. Kate Middleton. She has a baby, but the underscore ticker on whatever news source you're reading is like 182 people killed in Yemen or something like that from a nuclear, from like a U.S. bomb or something. You know, they don't, dude. This shit is fucking there for a reason. It's to keep you distracted, dude. It's the boob tube. The television will rot your brains just like your
They have to. It's there. You go. And this is not the time for that. You can never slow down the progression of knowledge without it being to your detriment. So there's no way of turning it off or anything like this.
Right,
But
it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be everywhere, and you just have to develop the tool that says I can weed out the bullshit and take the good information and then search that further.
I think more people, honestly, and here's why I think more people know bullshit when they see it than we give them credit for. They willfully, intentionally choose to be wrong and strong. And as far as people, they look, I discredit, just like you, a lot of the bullshit online, but the one credible thing I see about online, there's a lot of shit you see online in chat rooms and comments, whatever the fuck. A lot of times, this is the real face of these so-called, quote-unquote, nice, soft-spoken, intelligent people. That's their real face. When they think no one's looking, when they have the blanket of anonymity, suddenly they unmask and you see what they really are. They know bullshit when they hear it. They don't care. And my theory, my argument is I have never seen or studied a time in history anywhere where this has been the case. Never. Every person you've seen praising and clapping Joseph Stalin in those black and white films, they knew he was a murdering fuck, and they were doing it out of fear, period. And that example, you can spin the globe and go up and down the historical timeline, and you'll see that everywhere, in our country, everywhere. There's never been a time, there's always been times when people pervert the truth. There's never been a time where people outright reject the truth in droves. And I'm saying to myself, it's almost like the chumps and the idiots have seized control of society. Fuck that. Well, now government too, but I'm saying before you even get to government, society. And so you ask yourself, how could people who have degrees in media and all types of shit, credentials and everything, how could they do something like what the gentleman said? Who gives a fuck about the future Queen of England's kid or whatever the fuck? We got people dying here. That rich bitch is fine. We got people, dying all over the place. Why are we reporting on it? Well, it's very simple. They are appealing to the masses. And the truth of the matter is, people who are seeking righteousness, like myself, as hypocritical as it may sound, I said seeking. I didn't say I was. And people who actually are righteous, and people who actually are intelligent, and people who actually are reasonable, you are the fucking extreme minority, and you always have been. The only difference is, in the past, the pack of wolves, they knew that you had light. They knew you spit the truth. And no matter how hard they tried to suppress you or something, at some point, someone emerged to the forefront. You know, in the ancient days in Europe, that was the original Martin Luther when he broke off from the church and said, no, here's a real Bible. Look what it says. What these people are saying is not true. You know what I mean? There's always been people who break out, and then the masses have to listen, even if they don't want to. This is the first fucking time we're dangerously close to pointing to the sky and saying, look, ladies and gentlemen, the sky is blue. And you'll hear masses say, fuck you. That's fake news. And you're a plant.
Yeah.
This is something that should scare the you-know-what out of you, especially if you're any type of person of faith, because a lot of times you read certain things that are said to be en route prophetically, and you say, I know this is true, or at least I have faith. I know that it's true, but I can't see how we're ever going to get to the point where so many people would be so willfully ignorant and embrace outright evil like that. This is how it starts. You're watching it. We all got front row seats.
Yeah. But this has been manufactured in such a large degree, though. I mean, this has been step by step for 50, 60 years, man. They've been working towards these points. All the NDAA, additions that they did through the Bush administration, up through Obama administration, even recently.
Absolutely.
Continuity of government, Rex 84. They have it set up for this reason. You know what I mean? So I'm with you, dude. Shit is getting crazier and crazier every day.
Big L.
And you see all these executive orders being just signed right in immediately by Trump. It's curious.
Well, if you want to know the flip side of some things.
Yo, Big L's been trying to ask a question. You want?
No, y'all can finish.
Okay.
I was going to say on the flip side of things, I noticed today all over the place, I seen this thing that said 97% of Antifa members live in their parents' basement still, or something like that. I think it's like a tactic of propaganda by the state, and I think it's flipped hands, obviously. But
90% of who? Kids? Teenagers?
No, the Antifa, the anti-fascist movement or something like that use fascism to push their tactics.
Antifa. They keep, these. We used to call them herbs.
No, but what I'm saying is that there was articles pushed all over the place today talking about how 97% of them still live in mommy's basement. Well, right? So I think something in the future may come about because it'll probably like push them and piss them off type deal to where like they just might get fucked up, man. Like I don't know. But I'm just saying, I noticed that today, and I think, like, obviously, Trump's in now. It's not Obama. We have to think that the powers that be are going to switch in some shape or form. I'm just thinking ahead on this because, I just don't think that everything I see in the news is complete fucking junk or complete fucking truth, if I agree with it or not. I know, but what I'm saying is that I see this as more of an antagonistic move by the media, pretty much.
Well, first of all, if quote-unquote media reports on something like this is almost so. Fuck, man, I don't even know what I don't even. In the 90s, we started hearing about this bullying shit. Late 90s, like 98, 99, some shit. We started hearing about this bullying shit. That was dropping the drawbridge for these chumps and assorted scumbags. What it was these type of clowns used to stay in their fucking corner. We've first developed sympathy. Now they're running rampant. They keep making up fucking terms. They keep making it like true chumps do. Like, these. Look, I love Star Wars and all that shit too. I'm not just, I'm just saying there's a different. These fucking wannabe geeks. They're not even geeks. They're dumb. They're not goons. They're soft. You smack them in the mouth, they won't do a fucking thing. Nothing. Like, they're not goons. These are not even geeks because they have no intelligence at all. Like, these are straight chumps. These are the types they used to walk around with their fucking head down. Now, they shouldn't have had to do that, but I'm saying they did it out of a guilty conscience. They knew they were hideous motherfuckers on the inside. Now they keep making up terms, and they throw them around left, right, and center, and we keep co-signing the shit. What the fuck? So if I never know what that Antifa or whatever the fuck it is, if it stands for anti-fascist, why didn't they? Why? Because when you say anti-fascist, that sounds reasonable. Who wouldn't be anti-fascist?
Well, dude, the people nowadays are putting fascist in front of everything, and that's their excuse to be a retard. So
of course.
So yeah, but what I'm saying is that these people are actually like showing up to places and causing trouble. But I don't know how much I believe it though, because during the inauguration, right? Like, yeah, they rioted in D.C., but they didn't really do anything more besides throw trash barrels over and break windows. But if you're breaking windows in a place to go, aren't you going to go inside of it to like? I mean, there's a reason you're breaking. You
just hit the nail on the head.
Right. Like so it seems a bit more organized than anything else, and that's why I'm saying, like, I'm looking at this from the flip side now. Like, I'm still agreeing with my previous statements that, I don't believe everything the media says, and now this stuff is coming out of the current government, and then we have to start looking at it.
Well, it's all over now. The jig's up now. Now that we got these characters, the jig's up because So I'm not too big on the online thing. I'm slowly working my way into, but that term troll, which these punks throw around left, right, and center. I know there's a real thing as troll. You heard me say it. There's a lot of trolls who would even follow you guys' discussion. I understand what it is now, but it always sounded like some type of weak chump shit. But they throw it around left, right, and center, just like how you said they throw around fascist left, right, and center. But I don't let that distract me from what I'm really looking at. Like I realize that the fundamental thing is the complete morons, those who actually hate society, they hate virtually everything, beginning with themselves. These are the ones that are driving our political and social discourse. These characters are doing it. You hit the nail on the head when you were speaking about a riot. You see riot, you expect looting and this, that, and the other. This is LA riots. You know what I'm saying? Like riots throughout history. This is what you expect. What you're seeing, there is a difference between riots, which usually virtually always involve looting, and civil unrest. Civil unrest, these cocksuckers have somehow gotten in their mind that civil unrest or civil disobedience is people politely, nicely singing church songs like in black and white films of all different races and in both sexes, and marching in the street and getting their fucking heads cracked open and getting dogs sicked on them, and then being ignored for nearly a decade and a half. In their mind, that's allowable. They have not come to terms with the new generations that have been born since then, who were in social studies as little boys and girls of all races throughout this country, who watched those videos and said, thank God that's not happening today, because if that ever happened here, I'd kill a motherfucker. So no one was killed or anything like this. It wasn't that. But when you see people breaking windows, you see our people throughout the country break a few windows, or they're mouthy with cops and they're in the street and they're pissed off. The people are pissed off. They sense actual fascism coming upon them. What the fuck do you expect? What, you think they're just going to lay down? What, do you think that term that we say as Americans, these colors don't run? What, do you think that shit is just for fucking movies? Anybody did any history around this motherfucker, or everybody been watching video games? Obviously not you guys. I'm saying our country at large. What do you really think they're going to do in the face of what we're seeing? What do you really expect them to do? You are seeing the most unparalleled, unprecedented type shit being openly done here. And it's normally, when you see this shit, it's normally like from, some news outlet or some loudmouth, on the radio or something like this. Maybe they got a fan base, maybe even 1 million followers or something, some type of shit like that. You don't see it from major segments of your society, like the entire media, pretty soon the entire fucking government, federal at least. We're not used to seeing that. We've always had a struggle, Now it's not so much a struggle. It's a wave, and what they would tell you to do is, well, just stand to the side and you can hold your sign and be quiet. No, these are screaming eagles here, motherfucker. You've been saving the world for years. What do you these colors don't run. What do they think all this shit means? What do they think? What do they know about the American spirit?
What I'm saying is that this Antifa,
not you. I didn't.
Well,
I wasn't.
no. Specifically, what I was saying is that I think this Antifa movement is more like a distraction more than anything. It doesn't make a lick of sense to me why people are using fascist tactics to fight fascism, and they're justifying riots, assault by putting the word fascist in front of people they don't like, and that seems to be a thing.
100%.
So
that's a demonizing tactic.
My point is that if they smash the windows of businesses and not go inside of them, then they're not really rioting. They're disturbing. It's almost like in Seattle. These same fucking people showed up in Seattle and they all had on like the same fucking boots. Like they were GI issued. No bullshit.
There's going to be organized efforts.
Right, but what I'm saying is that I'm seeing the shit that's coming up in the news now, and I'm looking at it from a different angle because I saw it on different outlets, and it was specifically like the conspiracy outlets, essentially like InfoWars, Paul Joseph Watson, fucking Ben Swan, shit like that. And like I'm like, wait a second, this is heavy on this side, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, is this the new fucking paradigm shift that we have to deal with, where like I have to start scrutinizing the people who were scrutinizing the people we were scrutinizing before? Like,
some will do that. Some will do that. Some will play that game.
But what I'm saying is I think that might just be a distraction more than anything. Maybe, possibly, it could be a way to galvanize the American people back to fucking good old Americana. It's possible.
Well, to me, I have to concede that makes a potential point there. Like, that could be the case. You know, I don't got no crystal ball. I don't fucking know. But what I do know about our people is, and any people, but especially Americans, the innovation that's built into us, that's kind of ingrained into us, means we tend to learn fast. You know, we have a turnover rate like cell phones. We always got new models coming out. And today, what we have to understand is the original civil rights movements, like the labor movement, the child labor movement, suffrage movement, shit like that, at the turn of the last century and all of that. Really, the labor movement, long before we get to the 60s, where, you know, everything about all the other stuff, people learned. And the first mass protests, people saying, hey, we don't like this, that was spawned because the labor movements and shit like that, that was spawned because both corporate interests and government interests, always in cahoots, said fuck them. And both corporate interests and government interests said, fuck your electoral process and whatever you think you deserve. And furthermore, fuck due process. And so people turned out into the streets in this country for virtually the first time. And they were killed, shot, all types of shit. That was the first civil rights labor movement. Eventually they got, you know, concessions, and you see it under attack everywhere now. People don't know enough history about our people.
Yeah, Labor Day is something that we shouldn't celebrate. It's something that should be remembered.
Well, I hear you. All I'm trying to say is we learn. So that was the first rotary phones, so to speak. If you think that kids, middle-aged people, old people who were marching as kids in the 50s and 60s and 70s, if you think that they're going to do the same kumbaya, walking, holding hands, getting beat over the head with billy clubs and shit, when we're in a day where you can have millions of people in the street and they can be marginalized or ignored, such as the millions in New York City who were protesting against massive nuclear spending in the 80s. If you think that people are going to keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, that's the definition of something, ain't it? People are not going to do that. Kids are not going to do that. A growing people are not going to do that, and innovative people are not going to do that. They're going to find and devise the most influential ways they can to get redress to their civil concerns. And so it would behoove any government officials, it would behoove any corporate interests to realize that you, not only are you such an extreme minority, but you want to assert authority over a people, and the people give you that right. However, they say because we give you that right doesn't mean you shit all over us. And when they see you making bold, gleeful moves to do so, if you think that they are going to respond to you in 2017 the way great-grandma and great-grandpa and all of them did, you're out of your fucking mind. You're out of your fucking mind. You're lucky right now. We're all lucky right now that it doesn't look like Mad Max. But I can tell you one thing. These characters that were so silent when they heard in 2017, the very real possibility and consideration today in the halls of governments of deploying U.S. troops into American cities. They smooth let that shit fly over the top of their head. We got a bunch of fucking morons.
Yo, Liv. No, I'm gonna call you. What was your name again?
Julius, my man.
All right. So first of all, I want to discuss something with you, just a little bit, real quick. You said earlier about the Nation of Islam. So first of all, I'm gonna say, I know your viewpoint, right? We're all equal. Color shouldn't matter. But I'm asking you this from black man to black man, and I consider you an OG, right? I'm a young cat. You served in the army. You have more life experience than me.
Marines.
Yeah. So you have more. You have more time in this earth than me. Now, I'm gonna say this about the Nation of Islam, right? Despite how you might feel about Farrakhan, I'm gonna say this. Yes, in some way they're misleading black folks, but what about the good the Nation of Islam brought, or Farrakhan? For example, the Nation of Islam and Elijah Muhammad gave us Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, Farrakhan, Clarence the 13th, a bunch of political rappers, and other great minds. And something the Nation of Islam did was turned black men who would have been drug dealers, pimps, women that would have been whores, single mothers. What the Nation of Islam did was take these people off the street and turn them into upstanding black men and women, made a family unit between them. So instead of selling drugs on the corner, these people are reading books now, becoming doctors, nurses, lawyers. They're reading more, they're using their mind instead of their guns. Despite what you might think about Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, I see the good in it. With that being said, I also denounce Farrakhan because, he's what they teach is the white man's the devil, right? And if that's the case, then that means every white person I've ever came into contact would be a devil. But clearly, that's not the case. What do you feel about that? What's your feelings towards people like this?
People like yourself, you mean?
Nation of Islam people.
Well, my sentiment is clear. You heard me call them the Black Nazis.
Yeah, but what I was asking you is the good they did.
Yeah. So the first thing, fuck the ideology. I'm very much in. And first of all, age has nothing to do with it. Like I ain't no wise or nothing like this. It's just, for all intents and purposes, you're likely vastly more knowledgeable than I am. Okay, like my education is on these streets and in defense of this country, and back on these streets again. So I don't consider that like any type of. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I do look at you as an OG though.
Well,
just out of respect.
And I very much appreciate that, and I'm actually not used to that from younger people because we didn't even have respect, let alone any millennial or anything. But so I respect that. So number one, I think you're entitled to your opinion as an American. Fuck the race shit. I don't chop us up any more than I did when we were in the barracks. However, to your point, the first thing when I was listening to you talk, the nation did not make Ali at all. Like, Ali was Ali even when he was still Cassius Clay. Got a fucking name, and then he learned of a faith that he adopted, period. You follow his statements throughout history, you look at the things, you see there's a very big difference between the Muslim man that was Muhammad Ali and those that I call the black Nazis. Big time. As well as Malcolm X. The nation did not make Malcolm X when Malcolm X had his other name when he was hustling and killing and pimping and doing all of that. His charisma, he was what you might call a street boss, a guy who could galvanize street people relatively easily. And this was identified in him. And obviously he got to a point in his life, you read his books and you look up on his life. Once he was in the can a couple of times, he got to a point in his life where, as all men who run the streets, if you're lucky, you get a moment of pause, a moment of clarity, and you have a decision at that point to either keep banging or turn a new leaf. He chose to turn a new leaf. That was just the faith he chose, being a Muslim. The nation is the nation. Muslims are, they're entitled to their faith. We protect that here in this country. I may have been raised Catholic, I may be a Christian, but hey, I got many friends that are Muslim. And I do mean friends, not just people I say what's up to. So no big deal. I've served with Muslims too, so no big deal. It ain't about a Muslim thing. The reason I call those characters the black Nazis is because that's what the fuck they are. Anybody that's going to tell me that this person here, they're all the white devils, this, that, and the other, listen, you ain't got to fucking tell me about history at all. You ain't got to tell me about... You heard the one brother on here who laughed as soon as I say gray coat, because that's a kid he is a man who understands history. He knows exactly what I was saying. I know all the fucking about it. Like, it's impossible to not know. But I don't let people chop us all up. I have white people in my family. I have white girlfriends. Most of my brothers in the Marine Corps are white. So, you start talking that devil shit, you're dehumanizing somebody. And this is what was once done to people who look very much like me, very much like Theo, everybody in my family, black and Spanish. I understand what it is, so fuck them. Black Nazis, that's what it is. Okay, and that's it. Now, as far as all of this making upstanding people and all this, look, man, any ideology that's going to make a group out of their ideology, reasonably deduce that they're going to have certain rules, codes of conduct, whatever. They're going to have some type of order. When you ascribe to that ideology and you fall in line with their codes of conduct, that's what you're doing. It's almost like falling in with a cult or something. Like, that's what you're doing, whatever. But I don't say that they are, they ain't some recycling crew coming through, turning people into upstanding people. I see guys all the time. They go upstate. What did Noriega say? When they leave the pen, they always leave God-bodied, but when they come home thug. Like, I see the shit nonstop, and I know you do too. I know you do. Now, the bottom line, when you ask me the question, what do I say against that? I say the black Nazis, just like how I point out the fucking gray coats, like this major gray coat they're trying to make the head of the Attorney General's office. Just like the wannabe gray coat who's embarrassing my entire fucking city and my borough specifically, sitting in the White House. Just like those red suspender-wearing fucking Nazis, a.k.a. traitors. Gray coats are the original traitors of this country. They've been pissed since 1865. Fuck them, as far as I'm concerned. As far as this Marine and this black guy in this New Yorker is concerned. Fuck them, period. However, the same disregard I have for them, I have for these characters with the funny fucking hats talking about, all of this shit that they talk. I can care less, really. Like, but obviously, I can distinguish between them and the Muslim faith. I don't know much about the Muslim faith, but I can tell you, I don't think that they care nearly as much about their faith as they do about their ideology. Just like the Klan. The fuckers in the white cone hats will tell you how patriotic they are, but they'll stand right next to a red suspender wearing Nazi. They'll tell you how Christian they are while they desecrate the cause behind them with fire. Fuck them. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I respect your opinion 100%, man. As far as
I don't mean to be dismissive, man.
Oh no, man. I appreciate you even answering that. But as far as like, let's say Malcolm X, right? You said before he met the Nation of Islam, he was already Malcolm X. Well, the autobiography of Malcolm X is what changed my life completely, and the movie, which Denzel played. I don't know if you've seen it before.
Yeah, of course.
You should have got a Grammy for that. He did it.
It was in history classes here in New York.
Yeah. He went to jail for 8 years for robbery, burglary. You remember that? Inside the pen, he met a follower of Elijah Muhammad. He wrote in his book, he couldn't even read. He couldn't write properly. He was illiterate. But through Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam, he started reading. He said he would copy dictionary from A to Z until he could read his writing and know what the fuck he was writing. Once he came out, instead of going back to crime, he decided to fight for the rights of black people during segregation. And it wasn't like Martin Luther King. I actually like Malcolm X more than Martin Luther King because he was assertive. He was more aggressive. He didn't want anybody to be submissive. He was more, I guess you could say radical. I like to say militant. Also, Muhammad Ali, right? You're right. He was already the champ. He won the medal for America. But what happened once he came back to America? They wouldn't even give him water. They don't serve niggas there. You remember that?
I do.
Instead of him being pissed and going out there killing white folks or doing crime, he joined the Nation of Islam and made something of himself. But yes, I do agree with you. They are Nazis to a certain extent because, like I said,
because of this, there can be no compromise with someone like me.
Could just add this real quick. I think one badass thing Malcolm X did was he had his room rigged so when he flicked a light switch, a tape recorder would go on, and he got interviewed by these two FBI guys. Anyone can look this up on YouTube.
Bingo. And
the FBI guys pretty much say, we'll kill off or get rid of the people ahead of you, so you can get higher in your organization as a way to get him on their side and get him to cooperate with them. So that's pretty interesting. That's a pretty badass thing Malcolm X did. Give him props for that.
Keep in mind that Malcolm departed for a reason. Malcolm departed because, like I said, as a street guy, he was a street boss. And if you take the crime element, you take the dark streak away. Once you clean that up, once you find your right way to stand upright as a man, what happens is you got a charismatic person, a galvanizer. And they witnessed that, they realized it, they seized upon it. However, because he was now upright, he couldn't have game ran on him anymore. And eventually, he came to the realization of what he was involved in. And notice, he walked. He didn't walk from his faith. He was a Muslim, and I respect that. Different from me, I would never be. However, he showed by him walking the difference between the ideology of these characters and the faith that he had in his God. However, when he walked from them, what difference did you see in Malcolm's disposition? None. It hardened right up to the point where they fucking killed him. Uptown.
I don't know a whole lot about Malcolm because I went Martin Luther King to Gandhi to Martin Luther the Reformer. So I didn't study a lot of that. But when they take people out like that, like they did John Lennon or Martin Luther King Jr., when they take people out like that, you listen to what they say.
Indeed.
And although I don't agree with some of the things he said, he was reacting to what was going on at the time, and he got his life taken for it, and I can respect that.
Exactly.
By his own.
Well,
turncoats. There's always snakes in the wind. I told somebody the other day because we had an incident and things were very clear. I ain't going to speak much more on it than that. I told someone, I said, you see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You're always focused on the fucking snakes in the tree line. I'm telling you, and you can see with this character that the snakes are actually a lot closer to the fucking front porch. And if you just so should happen to look underneath the porch, you might be shocked at all the slithering you see. Malcolm found that out with a shotgun blast. As many have. Many. It's true.
Yeah, he was definitely double-crossed. He got gunned down at the Hotel Lorraine, and if you look up the Cross of Lorraine, it's a cross with two crosses going through it, like a double cross. So he got killed. Yeah, he got kills at the Hotel Lorraine. You look up Cross of Lorraine, it's a double cross. So it's like some sort of a code or something, like they double crossed them. They're letting those with eyes to see, be aware of that.
There you go. I mean, Moses experienced that. I mean, I know everybody ain't religious or anything, and I'm clearly no holy roller, but very much someone who learned and relearned and is relearning still a very healthy, vibrant fear of God, which I still realize doesn't necessarily make me feel like I'm in the clear, because every demon in hell fears God. So fearing God don't, I don't think it puts me in the clear. This is just me. Like, I don't have enough knowledge to know one way or the other. But I'm just saying, I think when you look at what happened with him particularly, like I don't think that's a unique set of circumstances. Even in the faith I believe in, Moses himself, what happened? I mean, it ain't these movies and shit. What happened? He finally came of age. He's a sitting prince. He knows that he's not of the royal line. He clearly knows that he looks and is very much like the slave Hebrews. What did he do? He slew an Egyptian graycoat, so to speak. An Egyptian graycoat was going to town on some guy. His consciousness spoke. His spirit was stirred. He slew the bastard. Who threatened to snitch on Moses, which actually made him run? Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is a sitting prince in the strongest nation on earth at the time, who killed not even a soldier. I mean, it says a soldier, but that was a soldier who was on Pogue detail since he was monitoring slaves. So he killed like a low-level, private schmuckatelli as a prince. You think that would make a prince run? Please. There ain't no fucking way. The reason he ran, and you can go read any biblical text you wish, you'll see the reason he ran. There was a Hebrew slave. If memory serves me correct, it may have actually been the slave that he saved, who threatened to dime him out. And he took flight into the desert. This type of double cross that Mars just spoke about, this has always been the case. It's like that Russian poem. What the guy say? He said, the history of humanity is not the history of a great force of good trying to overcome evil. It's the history of a minuscule, very small kernel of good threatened to be stamped out by a monumental force of evil. Like I say, the assholes and the scumbags have always been the majority. This is just the first time where they're boldly so. It's like roaches not being afraid when the lights come on now. They turn the lights on themselves. This is where we are today. And everything throughout history, from racism, sexism, class, whatever, all of that it's coming to a head because it really ain't about any of that shit. It's about a certain dark nature that is on the rise.
I want to talk about this.
That part is in my opinion.
I want to talk about this dark nature because I live in a small town, right? But because there's some kind of program where the United States government gives MRAPs to police stations,
unbelievable.
I believe it's our sheriff's department who has the MRAP. Now, they're trying to pass laws where civilians can't wear, I think it's a 5-star or 5-grade body armor.
Yeah, and they're gonna pass it.
So me and the guys at work, they're I love them to death, but they're the ones who they're so brainwashed by the system. They're still in it. And they try to justify that. They say, what do you need 5-star body armor for? And I'm like, I don't. I don't need it, but I should have the right to purchase it if I want to protect myself. Maybe I'm a bodyguard.
You should be allowed to buy a fucking 249 saw, but light machine gun. They say those same people will tell you it's my right to be able to buy this. However, for you to say, why shouldn't I have the right just to defend myself from bullets coming my way? They tell you you shouldn't have it. Why do you need that?
Right, but they totally justify the MRAP for the police station.
Of course they do, because they're the same as them. I agree with you 1,000. I think I know where you're going. Like, I think you were like putting your finger on
the hypocrisy.
Darkness. Yes.
The hypocrisy. And they're bold, like you said. Bold.
Not yet, brother. Give them a look. I promise you, before the 4th of July, many of them will be grabbing their heads saying, oh my goodness, what have we done? And it'll be too late. It's already too late.
So I don't have body armor, but I don't expect to live too long. So I do have weapons, rifles, and 1 pistol, all semi-automatic. This is for my generation, my seed, to pass it down. They're all very sturdy weapons, very reliable, very common rounds. But for them to say that I don't need body armor, it irks me. Because
they're telling you something. They're telling you something. These are the same ones who, as Hitler's lieutenant said, when it comes, they will beg you for it. When they decide to close the fists, the so-called patriots and shit, false patriots, so-called lovers of liberty, civil society, and let's be nonviolent. These fuckers who suddenly are dubs, they will beg for tyranny and cheer it. They'll cheer it. They'll cheer it. I assure you, they'll cheer it. You won't believe you're actually looking at the news. You'll be thinking you're looking at like V for Vendetta Part 2 or something. You'll be watching CNN or Fox or MSNBC or something soon.
That's the scary thing is people are going to welcome this martial law dictatorship totalitarian
Go online
system.
right now. Go to YouTube and go in the search queue and type in news live stream, CNN Live, Fox Live, MSN, any live stream right now, and go in the chat room and look at what you see. And like I said, you can dismiss it and say, oh, these are just morons and trolls. You're right. They're mostly fucking chumps, but they are representative of he was the one thing he wasn't lying about when he said silent majority. He just didn't know what he was saying. Like he really didn't know what he was saying. It's not that they being silent. I'm talking. You could see the open idiots, like the ones who were fighting with you over why you shouldn't have a fucking right to get body protection, body armor. But there are others. The ones who are always on the side, and they're way more numerous. The ones who say, well, you got to look at both sides, and this, that, and the other. Many times, they're even on the left, like especially the far left. Well, you're looking at it in the news right now. Everybody's talking fascism and racism, all this shit. Everybody reporting on it's got a smirk on their face. It's ratings and fun and exciting sensationalism. They're the real silent majority, and they're the ones that will applaud. Guaranteed. They're already doing it. Like I said, go to the chat rooms anywhere. At any given time, you'll see it. Right now.
Yeah, well, you even got a question for Hank from Nathan. Does he have propane-powered guns?
No, most of it's the new gunpowder, as far as I know. I did think of using propane tanks strategically. If I was to ever shoot one, the people breaking in my house who wanted to shoot, they would be surrounded by flammable gas, and it would deter them temporarily from shooting their own rifle.
Damn, dude.
Hey, we use our ambience. Is that right? We use the stuff around us? Yeah, we use the stuff around us.
Ambiance? I don't know if you'd use... I would say
Not
you use
bad.
it.
I'm from Texas. We got, bad schools.
I would say use our environment around us, I guess. I don't know. But, I mean, yeah, I think it's... I don't know. They clearly seem to want our guns, and they're staging at least some of these shootings, I would think. Maybe, I don't know how they're doing it. They're using maybe like some sort of Manchurian candidate, or maybe there's just a lot of crazy people, but it does seem like they're trying to attack our Second Amendment, which was clearly given not to hunt, but to defend ourselves from tyranny. So, yeah, I think it's a matter of time before they get our guns. I don't know. A lot of people think they won't be able to take them because of the amount of them, but I don't know. I feel it's like they get what they want. It's just a matter of time and propaganda.
It won't be too much longer. And the funny thing is this: if you ain't got to worry about the donut brigade necessarily. Like, you already know what they are. Period. I don't care what race, anything. These fuckers. Not all. I got many friends that are cops, family members, the whole bit. But you know what I'm talking about. Like the arrogant, full-grown, former hallway monitor who has an attitude now and has a badge. These are the ones that are riding around, and you'll be seeing a lot of them shortly. This push to take weapons. This is the mentality of a pussy. Let me explain. Now, I know I'm off here and slightly wrong because that comes from a Marine vantage point. What I mean is, oftentimes when we would get into it, we would get pissed, especially in the beginning of deployments and new AOs, where you get contact, you get rounds, you're getting shot at, you get an RPG slung at you. And oftentimes, especially in Afghanistan, in Iraq it was easier, but in Afghanistan it's pretty difficult to close with the enemy because, you know, they fire on you from elevated positions, and they got man jammies on, they're taking off running, you got tons of fucking gear on. You can understand it's very difficult to actually close with and get them a lot of times. A lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times. We would always say, like, just shooting the shit, you know, smoking in the smoke pit and shit. We're like, why don't these motherfuckers come out and fight? Stop being pussies, this, that, and the other. And when you look at America here, and you look at our people, and you look at this push with the guns, they'll present it as these are, you know, tree-hugging liberals after your guns, this, that, and the other. Those fat fucks with that young high school senior selected to do. His middle-aged, fat, Dunkin' Donuts eating ass will tell you, I need an MRAP and I need all the gear of a Spec Ops operator, and you can't even have a bulletproof vest. This is what they tell you. He is not a tree hugger. He is not a far-left moron. You know exactly what they are. They're the ones who really want your Second Amendment rights shredded. And I'm going to tell you something. They're going to get it. And furthermore, The Second Amendment, it is right what he said, that it's there to defend against tyranny. That was until technology advanced. There is no defense. You can arm every single person in your... Man, when we hit the ground in Afghanistan and Iraq, we assume that everyone from the 99-year-old grandmother down to the 2-year-old toddler is packing an AK somewhere. And they mean business. And we treat the entire country like that. All of this shit is hostile until we get back across the Atlantic. And let me tell you something. We don't get stopped. There ain't no stopping us. At all. Your best chance and your only chance is to have an insurgency. Wait it out. You know, hit and run until, you know, the pressure builds up too much, casualties build up too much, we leave, or, you know, some shit like this. This is the only way to stop them. In America, when the shit comes, there will be no intervention from any other country, and there ain't one fucking American city where you can arm everyone with AR-15s that can take on any militarized unit at all. We'll turn that bitch to rubble. They'll pick you up with a sponge. Fat fuckers on the range all the time, shooting deers and shooting at targets that don't shoot back. They ain't got a chance in hell. None of them. And the first ones that get laid down, these so-called militia types. Done. Cannon fodder. Finished. They probably won't even see it at all. Like, and I'm being honest. So today, the Second Amendment is not for defense against tyranny so much as it is defense against other civilians, other Americans.
They've taken responsibility of protecting yourself and your family and put it on the
state.
There
you go. That's not even put it on the state. They have said, when I said it's a pussy way of thinking, they have not said that we, the state, are going to protect you, therefore you can't have it. Such as when you walk into a court, you get, you know, searched and everything to make sure you ain't got weapons, because only the court officers here will maintain security. Nobody else. We're guaranteeing that no one else is going to have a weapon in here, only us. So don't worry about it. If somebody comes at you with a fist fight, you can't even have a knife in court. If somebody comes at you and they're trying to knuckle up, some officer will close with them in less than 15 seconds and stop it. Okay? So that's the state taking your security in their hands, and they can only do that in limited circumstances and in enclosed places. When they're going to tell you right now, because remember, I don't care how many morons who believe there's more than two genders on the far left who, you know, saying, oh, let's seize all the guns, nobody needs guns. Fuck them, they're all idiots. Keep in mind, these are the same people that believe there's like 3-4 genders. Fuck them, you shouldn't be listening to them.
And you can't rely on police to protect you, because by the time they get you, you can be dead. You can be dead.
Well, you will be. You will be. And the thing is this, like, it's a pussy way of thinking, because they don't, it's not about the state. The argument when they say, hey, it's because the state will protect you. No, it's a pussy way of thinking. They don't want you or anyone to have guns. Because in their MRAPs, if you've seen that incident a few years ago in Missouri, that shit that happened, where we see them in MRAPs everywhere trying to be us, those fat fuckers, and when the Boston shit happened and you seen them stacking on walls, these fat huffing and puffing, weak, soft, candy-ass motherfuckers who got all of our gear because, after all, they're playing G.I. Joe. This is the hallway monitor from junior high school, ladies and gentlemen, and he's big shit now. When you seen those fuckers with all that battle rattle, they're scared shitless, and they're in America, where people kiss their ass, open doors for them, and give them free meals at diners, and hi, officer, and this, that, and the other. They don't go where we go. They don't go where that 18-year-old kid is right now, on post in Afghanistan, scared shitless, freezing his ass off. They don't go there. Ain't no fucking way. But they tell you, you can't even have a handgun. If you have a handgun, not to shoot fucking cops, are you stupid? They can give you an AR-15. You can't take on the precinct at all. They know that you have it to protect against someone trying to do you or your family or property harm. They don't want you to have it. Why? Because they want to be able to tap dance on your head. And they're getting dangerously close. We're already hearing about so-called judges, quote unquote. If anything happens, fault the bench. Fundamentally, everything from your Department of Justice, your legislators, where's the senator that said this shit? I'll end his career. This came out today. You're seeing it, ladies and gentlemen. Once they get done with all of your protections, i.e., all news is fake, therefore fuck the media, i.e., we don't got to worry about dissent ever again. Now, we turn to the Justice Department. What judge? You don't like it? So-called judge. The other judge was a non-American, a.k.a. he was a Mexican. No, I think he was from fucking, what's that over there? Indiana or something. He's an American judge, jackass. Like, they're fundamentally attacking your media, which shows the world what's happening. Now, your Justice Department, the final line of your rights, the defense of your rights when you walk in and say, Your Honor, I've been wrong. Now, your legislators, the actual people that we elect, and your election process too, like it's all fake. There were millions of people, fraud, and there were dead people voting and everything. Yeah, they're going after everything, and it's much like that Jewish poem. First they came for this, and I wasn't them. Then they came for them, and I wasn't them. Trust me, the same flag-waving so-called patriots always screaming and crying about martial law and this, that, and the other. When the shit comes, they'll say nothing. They'll applaud it. And those among them who are not bigot-wise, by the 4th of July, they'll say, oh my goodness. In fact, they already are.
I mean, they made it obvious they're rigging elections, and then by us not really doing anything about it, we're just like saying basically, well, fuck, it's okay then that you do that. And there you go. And I think you sort of hit on something earlier when you were talking, when you first joined the call, where morality of our society has really been degraded. And the founding fathers talked about, like, you have a republic as long as you can keep it, and part of keeping your republic depends on morality, because like people don't care about their neighbor, like you're saying, right? They've created the millennials are notorious for being selfish, right? And if we don't care about each other and we're not standing up for each other, we're all divided, we're going to fall. And that's what the whole point of America was, being united. And we've look what Trump and Hillary has divided us and all this stuff. So
you are 100% correct.
It's obvious they're attacking America, like they're trying to destroy America. And all
I mean, it's so obvious that the only ones who, well, on foreign policy grounds, the only ones after Valentine's Day will be saying otherwise are it's clear why they're saying otherwise. It's clear why they are doing their damnedest to tap dance and distract from you believing your lying eyes and your lying ears. That's all it is. Like, they know that you're right. They know what's happening, and they don't care. And at some point, by the time people grab their heads and say, oh my goodness, they'll realize, like I told someone not too long ago, the snakes, don't worry about the fucking tree line. They're a lot closer to the porch.
You just gotta look at history, like what they've done in the past, they can do again, and then they look like they're repeating steps of Nazi Germany in America right now. So it's
yes,
it's
I mean,
looking like a pretty scary future.
Well, but the problem is, I think a lot of us that are not as aware of things as you guys are, and many of us here, I think for too many people, it's like a trailer for some type of, awesome movie, World War Z or some shit. Like they kind of want it. They think they want it to happen. It's almost like when we're kids and we watch like Avengers cartoons or something, and sometimes we root for the bad guy, like, because he's cool, it's fun. It will be, let's see the Joker win one time in Batman or something. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These type of chumps don't realize this is real life. Real life. All they know is Call of Duty and YouTube and shit like this. And when the rounds start flying,
they want fucking martial law to happen. They want like Walking Dead.
They think they want it
or something.
They think they want it.
It's like be careful what you wish for type of a thing.
Well, it's coming soon.
Yeah.
It's coming soon, and every single one of them will be saying, "Oh my goodness."
I don't want this anymore.
And you'll hear their real voice.
Yeah.
I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to play. It's the same ones that, when it happens, man, like their heads will spin. And to me, there should be no sympathy given to them. Fuck them. Even though we're all being in it together, those who were appeasers, those who were encouragers, those who aided this shit along, fuck them. Seriously, fuck them.
There's gonna be a lot of dead weight. That's for sure.
They already are. They're the reason how we got here. Somehow, at some point, the stupidest kids in school, the softest kids in school, somehow turned around and became adults and convinced the other 80% that they should be considered on the same standing with them. And the other 80% are so fucking bitchified that it took them about 25 years, but eventually they started listening. And they said, well, you got a point. Now they're in an uproar. Now they're in a fucking uproar. So me, obviously, politically leaning more left, even though I ain't no fucking Democrat. But I have a lot of Republicans that I like, or I have some Republican views that I like. But there's a reason why I would never move to the GOP camp, because, to be quite honest, they have a race problem. Like, they have a racist problem. So, and they refuse to address it. So fuck them. Like, but at the same time, at the Democrats or liberal side is the ones who are so, oh no, we're trying to protect liberties and this, that, and the other. Then how come when you see all of this shit going down, especially over the past 3 years, you see nothing but smiling faces? Even right now, I'm talking people that are respectable. You see nothing but smiling faces when Senator Elizabeth Warren today, or yesterday, got on the Senate floor as a sitting senator, and in her opposition to this gray coat Jeff Sessions, who more than likely will be the Attorney General, she was going to read a letter from Loretta King, Dr. King's wife. She was going to read a letter from her that was entered into the congressional record decades ago in another hearing in which they determined that Sessions, because of his views, was unfit for a post in the Department of Justice. And she was silenced by turkey neck gray coat himself, Mitch McConnell, who said she's besmirching the character of a sitting senator because Sessions is a senator. So for her to read the reasons why they rejected his ass 20-something years ago, she was silenced today. All the media that I watched and heard on this was from the left and the so-called independent CNN types. Everyone finds it comical. Like, not comical like they were laughing, but comical like they presented like, can you guys believe that? Much like these conspiracy types on YouTube. What do you guys think about that? Nothing, you fucking moron. Like, are you stupid? You think this is a game? Do you see what you're encouraging? And these will be the first ones with wet eyes on TV when the shit starts happening and the bullshit cuts loose. They'll be the first ones. We need to come together. We need to fuck you. Sorry, man. I'm a little pissed today. It's too much shit.
It's all right, man. I do want to tell you that if we do get attacked, there won't be no TV. I'd imagine that communications will be the first to go. That's usually how it works.
Yes, sir.
So when the communications go, you know what's up. You ain't gonna see it on TV.
We've all grown up hearing that test sign, every now and again. Like those of us, especially late 80s, early mid 90s, like right when it was World War III was definitely still possible, like with just the Soviet Union before they collapsed. Like every now and then, you didn't know why, but every now and then your radios and TV, beep, this is a test, and then it would go away. 10, 20 seconds, and it didn't show up again until after 9/11. When it happens again, like I tend to think it'll be the real thing. It'll be beep, followed by instruction.
I seen this headline today. China may be preparing for a crippling preemptive missile strike on U.S. military bases. From Business Insider.
So I've been tracking some things just out of concern as a citizen. And I started paying attention from 1 January forward. I realized what happened. The jig's up. The morons run the building, and people think it's funny. So, like when I was young, I turned myself off to domestic policy. I already know what's going to happen. Your Medicare's getting cut, all of that shit that these pricks think that, that they'll see. Like I said, they'll all be grabbing their head shortly saying, oh my goodness. And I started focusing on foreign policy because I smell a rat. I smell a rat. I mean, I know a few things, but I smell a rat. Like, not just I know, but us here in the Northeast corner, we know a few things about Donnie Dickhead and, you know, whatever. But I started focusing on foreign policy with the Russia shit and all of this. And I said, for 2 years, we've watched unprecedented NATO incursions in the NATO airspace and Alaskan airspace. And at the time, everyone, they were actually willing to accept it because their hatred for Obama was so great. And they said, oh, it's because of Obama and he's weak. I say, okay, whatever. I know what that really is, but I got a lot of people I like who say the same thing, and I know it's not from a racist perspective. I say, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it okay if, oh wait, this is P Mars hangout, right? Is it cool if Joven comes in?
Yeah, of course.
He wants to debate me on why he should be able to call me a coon or a nigger.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
He's trying to justify that, so I want him to come in here.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, why?
Why do we want to have that conversation?
Not why should he come in, it's not my place. You know, I'm just saying, why would he want to, what is there to debate?
Yeah, after you say that, nobody's going to listen to you, dude. After that shit comes out of your mouth, everything you say after that, it's falling on deaf ears. You just turn your audience off when you use racial slurs. It absolutely does nothing for your cause. So if he comes in here to debate, I don't think anybody's going to listen to him because as soon as he drops the N-bomb, it's over, man. You got a low IQ. Something's wrong with you. Peel the skin back. We're all the same, dumbass.
Yeah, listen to this white devil, moron. Hey, Hank, you know I love you, right, brother?
Yeah, no. It's all good.
It's more, I think
Hank is the man, yo.
The race issue is another one of these media traps. The media won't discuss the classism. It's all racism. You never hear about class warfare.
I agree with you, Pete Mars, like I said before, but race does play a part in it too. You know
well, I don't know. I mean, not to me because I don't really care.
Because
what color,
why?
I don't care what color someone's skin is. It doesn't matter to me at all, and I think it's silly for people that are concerned about such things. It's like silly waste of time to talk about.
These are clowns, period. And more than likely, like especially if they're around our age, younger. It could be. You know, Dylan Roof was young and he was purportedly a gray coat. When you look into his story, it doesn't make sense either. Like so many black friends and all of this. I mean, it could be. You know, there are many races who, you know, they float through circles or whatever. But what Mars said is correct. It's fucking retarded. And this is the chump brigade. This was a fucking slouch who didn't have any. These are the types who regret not having friends in high school or something. So, you know, they fall into whatever basket they can when they get older. If race is it, then race is it. But more than likely, it's not. I
said this before, but yeah, when I remember being a child watching the media, maybe 6, 7 years old, and they were talking about race, and I was like, no way, that's a real thing. I did not believe people were that stupid as a fucking child. I didn't even believe it was real. I thought the media's full of shit. Like, this can't be real. No one's that stupid. I didn't believe it. Like, I'm serious.
That's a credit to your upbringing, both parents, friends, neighborhood.
Well, my mom was
everything.
actually kind of racist, believe it or not. she would
Then you had to know.
She would kind of slip in a little racial slur. But I didn't know my mom was racist, I think, at that time. I didn't figure that out until I got older. It's like, wait a
She
second.
could have been, or she could have been like, she could have been, or she could have just
older. You know, she grew up in that time where like she'd.
That's what I'm saying. Like she could have been, or she could have been like just a woman who is, you know, unfamiliar with the issues of people of color.
Yeah.
And so some of the things that they say are insensitive because they don't know. It's a difference between being insensitive and being, you know, insulting or whatever. Like,
she
you know what I'm
was
saying?
one thing
She might have been. It's your mom. You know.
She said interracial marriage was bad because if your kids are half and half, then like neither race will accept them. You know.
Okay.
That's
No.
like-
Well,
that's
like
kinda
you,
fucked up,
you being, younger than her,
Mm.
might find that like hilarious, like fun, like
Yeah.
racially funny. Like,
but I guess
racially
that was
funny.
probably a real
But the-
thing when she was growing up. That was more of a real thing.
What I'm saying is, there's a strong likelihood that she witnessed, possibly even experienced, but I would, she definitely more than likely witnessed friends of hers, acquaintances, students and shit who, in her time, and as she's seen growing up, were interracial or had interracial whatever, and she's seen the rampant racism jump out.
Yeah.
And so her thinking and worldview as a young woman who was not of color, she determined that, you know what, this stuff is bad because people are going to fucking attack you.
Yeah.
Not, I hate these people, but people are going to fucking attack you, and I can't change the world. I'm just one young lady. Like, you know what I'm saying? The more than likely, when I hear that type of shit, more than likely, that's what it is. It's not that they're necessarily racist.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
You're probably right. Yeah.
Like, that's those little nuances, those little differences, people who are against racism have to understand that and stop letting the platform get hijacked by people who are race baiters. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, because I think just because you use the N-word, for instance, doesn't mean you're racist. Like, it's all the context matters, and like,
Dude, I got friends here on this block that we grew up together for years, running together, doing all types of shit as kids, scumbags, man. I'm talking like almost damn near splitting images of Eminem before Eminem.
Yeah.
And when you hear him talk, you think you're talking to someone from the Wu-Tang Clan. This is how my city is. This is how my neighborhood is. Like, it's a box of fucking Skittles. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and they'll walk straight up to you like, yo, what's popping, my nigga? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's never a fucking thing. Of course, I had to realize when I started this YouTube stuff that we are the extreme minority. Most of the country is more like Alabama than New York City. And I don't mean like racist like Alabama, like not obviously Alabama race, but I mean not as diverse like that. Like, you know what I mean? Most of the country is actually the other way. Most of the country is really divided up like a pizza.
I would like to ask a question. Do you think, you know how that it's become this term of like, hey, what's up, N-word or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, that's the common way to say
me,
hello. Is that like normal, or do you think that's engineered?
To me, it's a young thing.
Really?
To me, honestly, it's a young thing.
See, I think it's engineered it's like the hip hop has engineered people to make it such a term of endearment.
It has been. It has been. It's a phase. Musically, it's understandable because the scumbags, the lowest of the low, initially were the rap pioneers. And I'm not talking like when rap began. I'm talking like when we were kids in the 90s. Like virtually everything we heard, this is for the moron brigade. Probably literally can't read. And I'm not being funny. No, I'm not being funny. I'm being dead ass serious. Like, probably can't fucking read anything, let alone hold a real conversation. That's why everything is, yo, what's popping, my nigga? What's yo, no, I'm saying. So whenever you have the scumbags leading the brigade, well, you get what you get. You know what I'm saying? So when I listen to a lot of the music that we grew up listening to, I find that now I could barely listen to the shit. And when I do, I got to be like, in a hype mood in the gym or something. And even then, like, it's but so long you can listen. 1, 2, 3 tracks.
Yeah, it's so angry, right? Like, and
not even just angry. It's
towards
foolish.
women.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It's often racist. It's just weird. Not all of it. You got your immortal techniques. And you got your Jay-Z's.
Tupac had some good messages to some of his songs. So
he
once in a while.
He did, but
but he did
like
the other
I'm
stuff
full grown
too.
now.
He did the other stuff.
And I'm full grown and I understand a lot more now, and I don't get passes. Okay, Biggie and Pac, I listened to both of their music. Basically, two thugs got caught up in the game and got shot. They had promised to do other things, especially Pac, the line that he comes from with his parents and all that. He chose the other route, chose scumbag route, and it is what it is. Bottom line, people treating them like some type of demigods. Get the fuck out of here! Like, crazy. But it's true. Like
that's what happens when you die. You become a martyr, right? And like he did have some of
to who? He's a martyr to the morons.
That's true. I mean, he was trying to be somewhat political, and he talked about starting a political party. But yeah, you're right. I mean,
you can't.
He was.
You have no credibility.
Yeah, you're
none.
Right.
The reason why Jeff Sessions is catching the heat he's catching right now because it's known what you are or what you were, and you've made no major changes to correct that. And Trump couldn't go from,
Trump had no credibility, and he became president somehow.
There you go. That's my point. That's my point. When you got the morons leading the pack, there you go.
Yeah, it's crazy times.
But I to your question, like with the N-word thing, like I think it's a lot with the music from the 90s when we were kids. And what I've noticed is most of everybody I know in the city and in the neighborhood, you grow out of the phase. You grow out of the fucking phase. Like you start realizing how fucking stupid you sound, how retarded you sound. And if you don't pay attention to what's that shit, be careful of your thoughts because they become something and this, that, and the other. You sound stupid, then you start looking and acting stupid. So the hip-hop culture today, with all that over-the-top tough shit that back in the days when we were robbing motherfuckers, like we realized most of these guys are butt cheeks. They're sweet as fuck. Like you don't even got to brandish the iron. They give up everything. This is in the scumbag days, before the Marine Corps. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When you realize this, we knew they were soft back then. That's why it's always a pack of dudes, no pussy between any of you. Now, fast forward from that, what do you got? They're wearing your little sister's jeans, painting their nails. They're painting their fucking pinky nails and calling themselves gangsters. They ain't got a pop the piss in window to throw out of. I don't know any major players on the street, but you're a gangster. They're
I like to call it
a RuPaul character.
Homo thugcore.
That's the whole lot of them.
Yeah.
That is literally the whole lot of them. If you want to see a distinction, hip-hop wise, listen to all that bullshit and listen to someone like Immortal Technique. Listen to all that bullshit and listen to someone like Jay-Z. Listen to all that bullshit and listen to someone like Eminem. And then you see there's a difference. Mm-hmm. And initially, that difference was shunned upon. They didn't like the people with brains back in the day. The masses didn't, because those were masses of morons. This is why today, even I have a lot of guys that we love. I can't listen to that shit anymore. But in other words, that's a long-winded explanation of why you see. Now think about this. Those that you hear address each other like that, white and black, usually they're young. Like I said, come on, man, there's Irish kids all over my name. You hear it all the time. Everybody runs with everybody. Everybody fucks everybody. You hear it all the time. What's poppin', my nigga? What's good? And you have to turn around. Here, in my city, you got to turn around to look to see who the fuck you're, because you can't just assume, like when you hear a word or a certain influx of voice, who the fuck you're talking to. You turn around, and this is why no one pays attention to it here. But in this city, and in every city in this country, listen to the people who talk like that. It's usually youngsters. And if it's not youngsters, it's some old fool. Period. Right or wrong.
Well, Hank, were you...
What? Go ahead.
I was just going to wonder if you were interested in starting a hangout, because I just kind of made some food, and I don't know, it's getting kind of late and all.
Yeah, I'm going to take off too.
Wind this up.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Hey, I just want to apologize, Mars and Hank. Any of your cool listeners, like your audience more than anything. I was clearly worked up today.
No, it was cool. I enjoyed listening to you, honestly. It's great to have you on. I think a lot of people like listening to you too, so.
Well, likewise, brother. Like, I listen to you guys more than you may realize. I don't always catch it live.
Yeah.
But cool, this was a night that I was actually wired. This could be the only reason why I'm talking geopolitical shit at 4:24 in the morning. But like, I'm just saying, man. Like, it won't be a common thing. Like, I came in a little hot and heavy today because, well, I was pissed. And
well, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what my show seems
Roger
to.
that.
My show seems to have become this like safe place for all these people on hangouts where I don't really ban. You know, there's like a lot of fighting and division on these hangouts, and there's a camp here and a camp there, and they fight. Well, both camps can come here and kind of fight in my chat, and they're not banned. So it's like become a place where people sort of let their energies, get their energy out and stuff. Yeah. So
maybe too much.
I think that's a good thing, though. People need, it's good to fight as long as you don't take it too far, right? It is good to let off steam. It's not. Our society looks at it as such a bad thing to argue and fight, but as long as you're respectful and not, you don't go too far. I think it's healthy to fight a little bit. So
you are that what they used to call that. I read about it once. Reasonable man. That's the term. Reasonable man. You and Hank.
Yeah, Hank is too. Hank gets a lot of crap for, people give him crap because he's a pizza delivery man, but I think he's a pretty wise guy, and he said some pretty smart things that I've learned.
Do you realize the words you just put together, Mars? You're talking to a New Yorker, you said, he gets a lot of crap because he's a pizza delivery guy, but he's a wise guy.
I think
you realize what you just said?
I don't
realize the overtones of what you just said?
I'm not really sure, but yeah. I mean, I think
pizza delivery, wise guy.
Oh, I gotcha. Damn.
Were you trying to tell me that Hank is bullshitting? That he's not really from a nice way? So Hank's laying somewhere in an LES on the Lower East Side with a snub nose.
Hank I still say Hank said one of the smartest things anyone said to me on these hangouts, where he said that when he's on these hangouts and he's talking to someone that pisses him off, he'll kind of leave the hangout and then think about what made him angry, and then the next time that issue comes up, like it doesn't bother him as much anymore. I thought that was genius.
Perhaps that reason from Hank comes from when he looks in his closet and sees how many firearms he has. He's like, let me think about this before I get rid of this motherfucker. Let me think about this a little bit before I earth this son of a bitch. That's what it is. That would make a pretty wise man.
No, but that's good shit. I don't know. And like I see all these people are trying to trigger people and get people angry on these hangouts and get off on it. That's cool or whatever. That's their thing. But yeah.
And there's a young man, the one who, L, is it? Big L?
Yeah, Big L.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Yeah, just know that I think you made an intelligible point. I could understand what you were saying. And you're clearly ahead of the curve. And if I'm 36 and you're saying you're younger than me, I don't care if it's 2, 3, 4 years, whatever.
I'm 21.
Usually,
yeah, he's only 21.
Okay, significantly younger. But you're clearly ahead of the curve. Are you in New York?
I'm in California, man, but my parents are from New York, Bronx.
Indeed, concourse. Yeah. So,
yes, sir.
You're clearly ahead of the curve, man. I hopefully did not offend you.
Oh no, man!
I won't retract anything I said, but I just want to say I understand your point. I think you understand mine, and as you go forward, especially now, just realize you always. I'm not saying try to understand what other people are saying or coming from. That's condescending. You clearly do that. But always try to see what is not shown, hear what's not heard, research what is no longer remembered, like the historical context for shit, like why the dominoes at the end landed the way they did. Like, you know what I mean?
Pay attention to what you don't see.
Yeah.
Precisely.
I didn't take anything.
Ahead of the curve. My verbosity, he said that in one segment right there.
No, man, I really appreciate your point of view. That's why I asked you as another minority.
Well, I hear you. Ethnic wise, like you're Latino too.
I'm Mexican Dominican, bro.
Okay, well, sort of like A morenito, you sort of.
Yeah, my pops is a moreno, like a real moreno, but he's just
I'm
Dominican.
moreno. I'm moreno, but I grew up in Boricua household.
You see what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying.
Precisely. But what I try to say, like, I was gonna say, ethnic-wise, like, yeah, I hear you with the minority part, but we're entering a phase. Your generation is entering a phase. We just got here. We've been watching the shit come in.
Yeah.
Your generation, particularly, you're entering a phase where, look, you're never gonna forget where you come from and what the peoples have gone through. You also have to remember there are others. Like, believe me, I've heard some horrendous shit. I remember listening to cops, like, with me and my friends, like, and fuck this one over here, and what are you here? Like, Ace Boon Coon, you see this little Italian insect right here? Just a nigga with good hair. Like, I've had friends of mine. I remember this, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to understand there's a lot more minorities than you may realize. And today, just like I think Mars was saying it, fuck the race shit. It is more class thing. It always has been more class thing. They introduced these bigoted concepts to keep the people divided like a pizza. Don't get pissed, Hank. Leave the guns in the closet. I was just saying pizza to make my point.
Hey, everybody's safe unless they kick in my doors. You kick in my doors, your life is in danger.
Literally, I agree with you 100%. Right?
You're among minorities right now.
It's worse than race now, because now it's a class warfare kind of thing. But
there you go.
But when I brought that up is, I'm gonna use you for example. Right? You served in the military, but a lot of people, they don't see a military man. They see you know what I'm trying to say.
A lot of people.
And that pisses me off
many.
because I have cousins who fought for this country. I've never served, but I have cousins who served.
Don't be pissed, man. And I'm going to tell you why. I was only an infantry Marine. Not tooting my horn, but I definitely did my thing. And I'm well spoken of by the men who I left, and those who still know me, and those that are still serving now. However, I was just a fighter. Understand that not too long ago, a couple of months ago, you witnessed an 8-year stretch where the strongest political figure on earth was a biracial man. And notice how when you're Moreno, Latino, Italian, anything like this, if you're biracial, they never call you biracial. You're straight black, or you're straight Italian, or you're straight Spanish, or what, but he was a biracial guy, Obama. But granted, okay, black guy. And he was the strongest man on earth, and for 8 years. And I think it was 5 weeks before he took office, Rush Limbaugh and every media circuit was playing as a joke to kids then Barack the Magic Negro. Google it, you'll see it. And then you watched 8 years of unparalleled disrespect. They wanted to call the man everything. Hey, fucking up the goddamn country. That nigga Obama. Like, you watched that for 8 years with the man who ran the strongest nation on earth. So you can't be surprised when someone like me or yourself later in life, or anyone here, when they look at you and, they'll see whatever they see rather than what you are. Don't be surprised at that. If the president of the United States, you know what I'm saying, faced it for 8 fucking years, 24 hours straight, you can't be surprised. But clearly, that's not everyone. And my bigger point is, everyone here that I'm talking to, or that when I listen to you guys' shows and I'm not on or around, you reasonable people, you people that make common sense, you brothers and sisters who are actually real patriots, welcome. You're all niggas now. You're all minorities.
That's right.
If that makes sense. I didn't mean to be raunchy like that, but I'm just breaking it down in terms, you know what I'm saying, directly to your point.
Bingo gave me the nigga pass, but then I just gave it right back to him.
I didn't mean to just drop that. I'm trying to mess up your show, man. I was trying
no, dude, it's cool. It's fun. It's funny.
Yeah, like basically, reason is the new minority, and it's not even
telling
new,
the truth.
It's the ancient minority.
Telling the truth, you get outcasted right now.
It's the ancient minority, man. Like, that's the original. You tell the truth, you gotta go.
That's right.
Well, that's a good note to end the show on, I guess. So.
I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah,
You
thanks.
guys have a great night.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks everyone for the panel and the chat. I mean, you guys make the show. This is really a community driven show here. So, thank everyone. I think Hank Hill, if anyone follows him, he's been in the chat a little bit. He's going to start a hangout after this, so I'm sure people are welcome there if they want to talk. And yeah, have a good night, everyone.
100.